Garbage in, garbage out.
And should we wait the full 10 seconds until it hits a beam?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, it just hit beam right there.
All right. And yeah, my background here, because I have to have the green screen like right next to my window. It's like I'm trying very hard to figure out how to get this. Maybe if I can get like a black curtain or something right here, it'll work better.
Works for me. How's everybody doing?
We are.
It's good.
We're doing really good. And today we have from the DNL podcast, The Looker.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for having me. I appreciate
Glad
it.
you're here.
Joining.
Man, so you're up there in Canada. I mean, are you guys getting like super freezing cold, or is it actually
Canada,
starting to feel nice?
Honestly, we went from minus 40 Celsius Fahrenheit, however you want to cut that cookie, to it's like 5 outside. It's 5. So I'm laughing
for you guys, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, yesterday here in the States where I am, it was 80 degrees. It felt like summer, and then it plummeted back down today down to 60. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
We're currently sitting at oh hell, I don't even know. It's nice
know how
out.
to work
Breezy,
these apps,
but-
everybody.
breezy, but nice out. Good night, everybody.
So for anybody watching, we're actually in 4 different areas. So you've got Looker, who's up in Canada. You've got me in Kentucky. You've got Koimia in the Wisconsin area because he's decided to live where it's cold. And then you've got neo-deth in Ohio, just like only about 5 hours for me. Dude, what? We're not that far apart. Why have we not like visited each other?
5 hours is a long way in a car ride.
Yes.
Going back, that's like going back to where we were before in Rockford.
You never grew up in the country, did you?
5 hours. 5 hours gets me to the border. Just saying.
Oh,
Okay.
5 hours is.
But do you want to cross it? That is the question.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard. I know you probably can't speak too much about this, but I heard like you guys were like getting rid of your prime minister or president. I don't know how that all works.
Prime minister, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Justin Trudeau or however you say his name.
Yeah.
Like, so what's going on with that? You guys are like just telling him sorry, you're fired.
Well, he resigned. Like literally, he plummeted. Oh yeah, 100%. He resigned like 3 months ago. He gave his best friend the job. Like literally, okay, this guy's the prime minister. No longer,
that works.
No election, no nothing. He's like, because it's the party's representative, right? It's a little different than the U.S.
Right.
They kicked the can down the road, so we haven't had an active government for like 6-7 months now, and now we're finally in an election season, and that's 45 days.
I mean, it's kind of like what Biden and Harris did too when
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, that he decided he wasn't going to run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But at least Harris was a political figure, right? Mark Carney is not a prime minister. He's not a active member of parliament. He's a banker from the UK.
He's just a rando they pulled off and then, okay, congratulations.
Well, he doesn't hold a seat in parliament, right? He doesn't hold a seat. So like he was a financial advisor for Trudeau during the pandemic. And like, well, we didn't do very good during the pandemic. Like as a country, we did a lot of for sure. But we are as a country, we've barely recovered from it still.
Right.
Hey,
right?
we still are.
You guys are fighting like with Trump politics and all this other stuff. We're still dealing with the repercussions of bad financial decisions our country made. Like
4 years ago,
that was bad financial things from Trump again. So
yeah.
I'm curious.
Affect you?
Go ahead. You guys all spoke at the same time.
How are the tariffs going to affect you guys?
They're going to absolutely destroy us.
That, shall we?
So, like, our dollar is 67 cents per your guys' dollar, right? So, if you guys put a 25% tariff on it, so that's like taxing our already taxed dollar.
Right.
So the cost of steel goes up 25%, where we still buy it for $1.40 per dollar from you guys. And then it's taxed on top of that, but the government keeps that money. So
it's not like it's helping you, or
it just makes my life more expensive. Like in the scheme of things, if I move to the US with my paycheck, I'd be a wealthy man in the US. And in Canada, I'm barely middle class at best.
Right. Yeah, there's a YouTuber I watch that does Legos, and he's based in Canada, and he always says his prices, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I thought Lego prices were bad here.
Yeah.
When you go to Canada, they're jacked up even more.
Yeah, same thing for video games too. Like if you compare them.
Yeah.
Well, I know in my industry, because I work in the car industry, I build the Jeep Wrangler. I know the plant up in Canada, they have idled right now because of the tariffs and everything, and they don't know what they're going to do with those vehicles or whatnot to bring them back in. And they're the high-end ones. They're like the Challenger, the Charger, and the minivan. So, yeah, I mean, it's affecting everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was always just kind of wondering, like, how things like in Canada or things from here affect each other, and yeah, and huh?
Yeah, he's getting reverb from you.
From me?
Somebody's getting reverb. I think you're reverbing there, Cyclops.
Maybe.
Talk
a little bit.
Huh? That was interesting. Then it went away.
Yeah, but.
Yay! That wouldn't be a show without some difficulties.
We should just call this the difficulty show.
It has a nice ring to it.
So does garbage in, garbage out, though.
Fair.
You know, maybe the whole like this nothing ever goes right on the show could actually become part of its charm, and that actually is what gets us the sponsors. Like, hey, do you want to fix it? Right. But no, I was always just kind of wondering like how what's going on here affects you guys, because like especially like with video games, I didn't know like us putting tariffs on it or us doing anything could really affect you guys too much. You always hear about how it affects us in Japan and where the games are made. But I guess this is going to affect you guys so much too.
Oh, 100%. Like just for some quick math, if you guys would have buy a game for $100, it's $140 for us, just right off the top, just because of the dollar value that we have as a country, right? Like, so that instantly makes it more expensive for us. And then you top the tariff off, so it'll be like 25% on the retail, the gross cost. So it'll be like, on $100, that would be an extra like $12-13. So on $100 game for you guys, we're like $156.
Oh wow! So if they end up charging $100 for Grand Theft Auto, that's going to be even more catastrophic for you guys.
Oh yeah, right. And I'd love to say like, oh, like our minimum wage is a lot higher. So it's like we do try to compete against that kind of stuff like that. But like, you know what it's like where you lift your minimum wage and all of a sudden the cost of your trivial things like cheeseburgers now cost more because you're paying that guy $20 an hour to shake some French fries every 3 minutes, right?
Right.
One thing I've noticed, is like the price of everything has gone up, but my my paycheck has not. So I don't know if anybody else has noticed that. Oh yeah, Mike Banky. Yeah, fun fact, if you look at Lego set and divide the piece count by the price, it will often come out to 8 cents?
8 cents to 10 cents per piece. But
branding is very Star Wars.
Yeah, the branding usually ups it. It definitely like that's kind of how they try and judge if a set is like good, is they try and go by piece per count.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you got to take an L and whatnot. But yeah, that's usually how it works. But yeah, definitely branding, like that new Zelda set that came out, the Deco Tree, that was like $300 for what the piece count was. It was ridiculous, but it's because it was a Nintendo brand and it's the first Zelda one, so they got to pay for that, right?
The nostalgia of it,
right? It's one I still got to get. It's on my list. I got a ton on my list that I got to get.
First comment, super expensive. Second comment, it's because of how much branding's involved in it. Third comment, I'm still gonna get it, but you know,
right.
I love it.
So, yeah, and I'm gotta say here, yeah, I'm still hearing some refurb, and I'm not sure if it's on my side or Brian's side or anybody.
Yeah, I don't know where it's coming from. It's there and then it goes away. I don't know.
Maybe there's a ghost messing with it.
Right.
I love technology.
Well, that's why we call it garbage in, garbage out. We're a few nobodies that don't have money for like expensive podcast equipment. Maybe a year down the road we'll be able to upgrade our mic. And that'll be about it.
I'm kind of offended for the fact that I fit into your previous comment.
Oh,
as my green screen goes all bonkers in the background.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So
we're slowly piecing it together, right? It's piece by piece on this.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, kind of going with what we were talking about earlier. So I have this here actually. So yeah, Nintendo raising the cost of the Switch 2 accessories in the US due to tariffs, but the console price is going to stay the same. Now in Canada, I'm not sure what you guys are pricing the console at, but we are. What was that? $400 without the game and $450 with the game?
No, $450 without the game. $499 with the game.
Okay.
I'm gonna quickly pull it up on mine just to see what it costs. You guys are talking the Nintendo Switch 2?
Yes.
Yeah, you guys are gonna crap your pants.
Go goody.
But yeah, well, he's pulling that up. Yeah, Eurogamer was reporting here that Nintendo finally decided how the tariffs will impact, and that's of course how it will impact, just at least now. Because I don't know, we put tariffs, then we decide we're not going to, and then we switch how much it's going to be. I don't know. Even we're confused on that,
right?
Yeah. So I have it here. So the Nintendo Switch 2 in Canada will be $629 for the console only, and $700 for the console with one game.
Going on, Angel.
Wow.
Can you put that in the private chat here, and I can put that up for everybody?
How do I do that? Because I pull up. I know.
Private.
Yeah, give me
private.
Give me 30 seconds. I have to. I pulled it up on my phone just so I didn't block my screen. So I wanted to see your faces.
Mm-hmm.
So while you're pulling that up, I have a question. This is just a curiosity of mine. Being in Canada, how do you feel about South Park's representation of you guys?
With the beady eyes, the flapping heads going on.
It's not all that off. Like we are a very weird, friendly country in that. Like for the most part, like we are. I do agree we're very polite. I do agree with a lot of the stereotypes that happen with us. Now, just like in the US, you're gonna find nice guys and you're gonna find assholes, right, and stuff like that. People that fall in and fall out of the stereotypes. But in Canada, I think most of us fit pretty good.
Gotcha.
So that whole we're all friendly except for Scott. Scott's a dick. That's an actual truth thing.
So I don't know if that link's going to change it to US when you click on it, because that's just the official Nintendo site.
All right, I got it.
Yeah, that might change to the US one.
No, because I think it says Canada in the tag.
Yeah.
Blame Canada. Blame Canada.
I absolutely love South Park, for the record.
I'm not your Betty guy.
I'm not your guy, pal. I'm not your pal.
I'm not your pal, friend.
Was this it? Yeah, available 625. This was the link, if I remember right. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the MSRP, not even the retail.
There it is. Okay, okay, wow, yeah, you guys are...
That's crazy.
So MSRP, just for the uninitiated, this is like basically your tag price, not your sale price.
Yeah.
Okay.
Manufacturer suggested retail price.
Yeah, exactly. So a store could add $50 to that, or $100, or not at all if they want to sell it for like hotcakes or whatever like that, right?
What is that? Z, thanks for following.
Yeah, Nintendo Switch 2 overview trailer. We won't
probably like what like what we have for ours.
Yeah, probably copy and paste with the .ca at the end of it.
Yeah.
They get real creative with us Canadians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you said,
it's just copy and paste.
Switching the subject here. Looker, you said you saw Minecraft as well?
Say that again?
You said you saw the Minecraft movie as well?
I did.
Okay.
And?
Yeah, what do you guys think?
So, for context of it, I saw it the day it came out. I went there with for my kid's birthday. The wife and I, and both my twin boys. I have 2 8-year-old twins. We went and saw it. My twins absolutely loved it. They sat there, giggled in their seats the whole time. They absolutely loved it. As an adult watching the movie, I thought they stayed fairly true to the game, right? There's a lot of like real Minecraft attributes to the game and stuff like that. But the one thing I couldn't get past was Jack Black playing Steve. He didn't play Steve. He was Jack Black. 100%. He was himself the whole time. He didn't act. He was just like, oh, I think this is gonna be funny. I'm gonna do this. Hey, right? The way he normally does things, and I think that took away from the movie, not added value to it.
Right.
But outside of that, I thought the movie was well done. It had a couple of ha-has in it. It was entertaining, and I get that it was like geared towards children. But in most kids' movies, they also try to have it in entertaining for adults as well. And aside from some like pretty poorly done adult jokes, I felt it was not great because of Jack Black.
Look, you have a friend that agrees with you.
I'm sure Looker has heard my love-hate relationship with Jack Black.
Well, he's like Ryan Reynolds. He never actually plays a character. He's always Ryan Reynolds in whatever movie, you know.
I actually disagree with that.
Don't you have to disagree, though? He's like a national hero for you.
Fair. You got me. But at least Ryan Reynolds is believable as that character.
Why am I lagging?
Right? Like him in Deadpool, he was Deadpool. He literally just pretended to be himself, but I believed that that's who Deadpool would be.
Right.
Right now, the Jack Black's rendition of Steve, I'm like, Steve's gonna be a 45-year-old fat guy with a gray beard. That's a little bit raunchy, the humor.
So I'll start with the good for Minecraft.
Oh, there's good.
There is good.
Okay.
The CGI was fantastic. That's it. That's the good.
Moving on.
So my first complaint is I went into this movie knowing that Jack Black was not the first pick to be Steve, that Matt Berry was. And I would have loved to see Matt Berry as Steve. So now I'm watching this whole movie, picturing Matt Berry in my head doing these lines, hearing Matt Berry in my head doing these lines. Yeah. And then the sad on the moon was the fact that Matt Berry did a voice of a character in the movie still. So we still had Matt Berry in the movie at the very end, but that pissed me off. There was some humor there that I think was missed with the like you said, for adults. Sci-fi man, how you doing? The whole principle telling a 12-year-old her life story about being divorced and shit. What was the point of that? You know, like a 12-year-old is going to go, oh, okay, as his principal is telling him, oh, I was divorced and I haven't had a boyfriend and da 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 da. And it's like, okay, I mean, it's Jennifer Coolidge playing Jennifer Coolidge, and you know, I think some of that humor, I get that it was for the adults who are being forced to drag their kids to the movie, you know.
Disney's been doing that for decades. They put in adult humor.
And my question was this too. Okay, so I'm sure you guys know this, but the movie was directed by the dude who did Napoleon Dynamite, Nacho Libre, and Minecraft now. What is his fascination with tater tots? Because every fucking movie that he has done has referenced tater tots some way, shape, or form. And
he really likes them.
I guess. I don't know. Maybe he's being sponsored by tater tots. I don't know. But like it just I don't know. The more I see of the movie too, I could see that Jack Black wasn't their first pick. Like, he didn't get top billing in the opening credits. Jason Momoa is first. If you look at the Minecraft poster, Jason Momoa is front and center, not Jack Black. Jason, for all intents and purposes, was going to be the big name in this movie.
Yeah.
Because then, if Matt Berry did it, most people would go, who the fuck is Matt Berry? But
yeah, but I think once you saw him, you'd be like, oh, that guy.
Well, no, his voice, because he does a lot of voices in kids' cartoons. Like, he's been in SpongeBob, he's been in, I can't even think, but I've seen clips of different. How do I know that voice? And it's him, from different cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
So, right. I know my kids are going to want to buy it when it comes out, and
you're going to have to watch it a lot more times.
Oh, no. Working overnights, I'll just be like, I'm going to bed. Enjoy. So
your wife's going to have to watch it a lot.
Somebody's going to have to watch it.
Probably.
Right.
Well,
if I can, to circle back to what you guys were saying, Cyclops Guy, about adult humor in kids' movies and that, look at movies like Shrek. Tons of it. It's littered in there, but it's tastefully done. It's clever. It's funny. It's whimsical and stuff like that. In Minecraft movie, it was just like blam. Here's a one-liner.
Was it like in your face type thing? Well, I mean, even if you go back and watch the old Looney Tunes and like the old cartoons from back in the day, you watch them as an adult and you're like, they got away with that? Like, even like Scooby-Doo and all that, you're like, oh, okay.
I think we all agree with that, 100%. I think we all agree. But I think the defining factor is that was the norm in those times, where now we have better technology, we have better writers, better everything. And you're going to go with that yuck jokes that we did in the 80s? Really?
Yeah.
Like, do better.
A lot of the adult jokes, especially in Disney movies, came from the actors doing a one-liner, and then Disney found a way to weave it in.
Right.
So because I remember the big thing was Robin Williams as the genie.
Yeah.
In Aladdin.
I mean, he had lived most of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how much of that was actually adult humor? But but we all loved the genie as a kid because he did it in a way that was...
He was always like super fast, and if you didn't catch it, like he's on to the next thing already, and then when you go back, you're like, oh wait a minute, what the fuck?
Well, I think the biggest one that I remember is when he was like, oh, the earth shook. Usually that doesn't happen until the wedding night. And then he was on and I remember watching that as an adult, like, good God, they got away with that in a kid's movie. And that went over my head,
See, but that's cleverly done, right? Like, that's like well worked into the structure. It's clever. It's witty. And it's, if you don't know the meaning of the analogy that he's trying to make, you never catch it. And Minecraft, I didn't feel like it was that. I felt like they okay, we have to put some adult jokes in here, so let's insert one there and one there.
We've gone 5 minutes. It's time to insert that joke.
Exactly.
We got to keep these parents alive.
I think the biggest time I remember first seeing that was in Dinosaurs. Did you guys ever watch Dinosaurs in Canada?
Like Knock the Mama.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Not the
What the hell?
That was really the first time I remember seeing that, because I remember being a kid loving it and then watching it as an adult, and I'm like, this show is actually more aimed at adults. I just loved it because it was puppets.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they had tackled a lot of adult issues on that. They tackled drugs and bullying. It was kind of ahead of its time for what it was.
The last episode was pretty much a global warming episode.
Yeah.
Extinction, whole thing. I mean, God, the way that ended is like so depressing. I'm like, this is a kid show, and that's how they ended.
Yeah.
Great. But all those shows that we feel nostalgic about now, if you go back and rewatch them, they were intelligently written. They touched on some heavy topics. You could really, really relate to them on any social construct, whether you're left, right, center. It doesn't matter what you are. We could all relate to bullying.
Mm-hmm.
We could all relate to parental problems or like school problems and stuff like that. And they really, they gracefully touched on those topics as the construct of that episode, but also had like some slapstick humor in it, some cool whatever their niche was.
Whatever.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And made sense in that universe, you know.
Exactly.
But yeah, I see Mike came back in and he said, I'm talking about Ryan Reynolds. I like Ryan Reynolds, but after watching his acting for years, he's mostly a one-note actor like Tim Allen. If you go into the movie knowing Ryan or Tim is in it, you know exactly what to expect.
Adam Sandler.
I definitely think Tim Allen is one of those ones where he's pigeonholed into like the macho dad mechanic, whatever. Every one of his shows is kind of tuned that way.
Yeah.
I feel.
You said Adam Sandler's that way, yeah. A lot of
Adam Sandler,
slapstick, wacky. So then when he does something that's actually worth noteworthy, like Uncut Gems, everyone just kind of throws it off to the side.
I mean,
it's like, wait,
even before that one, you had Punch Drunk Love, which was a phenomenal movie, and not a lot of people watched it or talk about it anymore.
But between his original works and that stuff there, like the newer stuff that it's really him, like same with that basketball one, that movie that he made, or he's a basketball coach. I thought he was a one-trick pony, and he used to be my favorite actor of all actors. I loved his work. And then he did 10 years of the same shit.
Right.
And and just recently, I feel like in the last, say, 3 or 4 movies that he's come out with is really like showing us, hey, you can act. You're not that one-trick pony I thought you were. That's why I fell in love with you as an actor and stuff. No homo, but fell in love with him as an actor, right?
And that was Eddie Murphy, you said?
Oh, Adam Sandler's.
Or Adam Sandler. Yeah,
all right.
He did Uncut Gems, and what was that's really what pushed his acting. But did you guys ever see Reign Over Me?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, it was with him and Don Cheadle.
Yes.
Yeah, that was like the one where that almost makes you cry because he plays a man who kind of lost touch with reality because he lost his family in the 9/11 attacks, and he just reconnects with his old friend, which is played by Don Cheadle. And people think that he's after his money because he got this huge millions and millions of dollars settlement, and Don Cheadle really just wants to help him get through these issues. And it's just so it's. Like there's a few funny moments, but it's like I remember watching this going like, this is not Adam Sandler. This is like, you know, almost like Al Pacino like acting. You know?
Right.
All right. I can't figure out why my camera is lagging, so I'm gonna have to do this for the time being.
Okay, you could be a talking circle.
Really? Be like Homer. This is my voice.
And so to go back with what Banky said, did you guys ever see? There's a movie on Netflix. I think it's called like an El Camino Christmas. It was with Tim Allen and a lot of comedy actors, but it was really more of a dramatic comedy. But again, Tim Allen, he said that he wanted to do because it's a very R-rated movie, and you see Tim Allen in there swearing up a storm, doing drugs, getting drunk, and you think like this is him maybe breaking out, but then it was like, wait a second, he's still just that rugged, tough dad figure, just with a few substance problems. It's just Tim Taylor basically drinking.
Basically, his entire career before Home Improvement.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, the dude was arrested at the border with cocaine or some shit, if I remember correctly. Like, you know, he used to be pretty hardcore, and I even read an interview with him once where he was like, you know, once Home Improvement became a big hit, and he would go out to do his stand-up routine, and all he'd see is kids in the crowd, and he's like, crap, there goes like half my act. You know, like I can't do anything.
I remember seeing a lot of his early stand-ups too. Like, I mean, he wasn't like fucking Andrew Dice Clay, but
well, so it was more like Bob Saget. I remember Bob Saget said like
Bob Saget was another one.
Yeah. After Full House got to be big, he'd go out and he'd see kids in his audience, and he would be like, "Well, that's the parents' fault," and he would go do his stand-up. Then he'd watch him walk out.
Man, he was great.
I didn't see or know anything about Bob Saget until after because I have a lot of females in my family, so I've watched a ton of Full House. And one day, someone was like, exactly how you just made that comment. Oh yeah, Bob Saget used to stand up. I'm like, really? I start watching it, and like, I swear to God, my childhood just got crushed.
Like,
oh my.
What did I just watch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought, like, I wish my dad was like that. Just such a nice, wholesome. My dad wasn't exactly like that. He was crass. He's funny. He was like vulgar and stuff like that, and also a good dad. So, okay, that it all kind of checks out now.
Sorry,
Man,
I just realized my wife had the TV on in the other room, and hopefully shutting the door better will get rid of some of that noise there.
I couldn't hear it.
Is she watching?
She was watching something online.
Oh, okay.
So, and she's kind of walking by the door, so I'm wondering if that's part of what was giving that.
I don't hear the reverb anymore, so I don't know where it was coming from. I looked on my end; it doesn't look like it's coming from me.
All right. Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, we've got camera issues, we've got audio issues.
It wouldn't be a normal show without it.
Right.
Honestly, guys, it's just a nice change not to be my problem this time.
You're like, whatever, I don't care. I don't have to fix it.
Yeah.
We'll bring you on again, and hopefully then it'll actually be fixed, but probably not. We'll just have a handful of other issues that happen.
Right. Something else will pop up.
Honestly, I think that's one of the charms and the gem of a podcast like this, and I think that's the same that mine has, is that it's just raw. It just buddies having a good time, talking about things that they're passionate about, and that how we all like, joking around, it's a mistake, it's a fuck up. No, man, it's part of the charm. It's part of the raw, the realness. We're not $1 million people getting paid $1,000 with a team behind us. No, we're just a bunch of dudes having a good time, talking about shit we love, and I think that's how I started following the Cyclops guys. Literally just hey, this guy's he's a nice guy, he's entertaining, he's relatable. Start shooting the shit with them, blah 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 blah. Fast forward a bunch of time, and here I am.
Right.
Right. So it's that's the charm, and I think if people, especially I've watched a ton of your guys' podcasts. I think if people actually got a chance to sit down and watch it for an hour, it's not
we don't know what the fuck we're doing.
It's not that part that they would like, though. It'd be the conversation, the rhetoric, the camaraderie between you guys. That's the joy of the episode, not the camera, the lights, the mics.
Right. I mean, it is nice when they work.
Agreed. I get you.
Well, I see on TikTok when I put things on there that people are like, "Oh, your podcast equipment should be considerably more expensive," and I'm like, you know what? This makes it more real, I think, because this is the budget that I have.
Right.
I mean, to be honest, for the longest time when I first started streaming, it was literally through the Twitch app on the PlayStation.
Right.
And,
same here.
you know, and I didn't have the camera, I didn't have the computer with the capture card, I didn't have any of that shit, and it's just slowly grown.
Correct.
Yeah, my very first stream was literally just me playing Sunset Overdrive, and
Hello Panther, thank you for the follow.
Yeah, and it was just the game, nothing, no mic, no camera, nothing. And I want to say it was months after that I finally decided, hey, maybe I should get a headset, and then you could hear my voice. And then, of course, back when the PlayStation was doing that, you get into certain cutscenes, and they'd be like, this cutscene is disabled. Yeah. So then I'd have to sit there and okay, so now you see the Joker doing this, doing that, and I'm trying to keep the audience entertained while they're just seeing that PlayStation screen with the bouncing stuff.
Yeah.
Right. I think if people actually took the time to realize, because I know, as in a similar boat as you guys, the amount of shit I've had to learn, the stuff I had to figure out, all the work that goes into doing exactly what you guys are doing right now is absolutely. And we did it on a $400 budget. Come on, Hollywood, step up your game. If you guys put in the amount of work that we did to do what we do for fun, for pennies on the dollar per se, I work hard at my craft. I know you guys do as well. I think it's incredible how much amazing work how much amazing content we put out for the shoestring budgets we're working with. And we don't do it because of an expensive mic. We do it because of amazing editing, good communication skills, whatever like that, right?
Right.
Sure.
I just have to say, I've heard you talk on here for a little while, and the way you say "about" is kind of funny to us.
What? I made fun of it too as you were talking.
And again, with the whole South Park representation, the way that they do that.
So,
I mean, he probably goes to his friends and talks about our slang, right?
I don't hear it. For the record, I don't hear it at all. I don't see where the joke is. I'm on a boot.
Yeah. See, So where I'm at here, and I'm more in the southern part of the United States, and I know Brian's more in the northern part. It's kind of funny when I start talking to people, everyone will tell me like, "Man, you have a really thick accent," and I'm like, "What?" I don't hear that. Right. And like the other day, or actually a couple weeks ago, I should say, we had a lady go like, "Okay, yeah, Adam, yours isn't as thick, but Rachel's is really thick," and I have to pay attention, and I'm like, we don't have we have the Midwestern accent, which is another way of saying you don't have one. How are you having trouble understanding me? And then I realized I'm like, oh, wait, if you listen to the way everyone else talks, we are the ones that sound funny.
Right. See, and it's weird though, like getting back to issues, my camera, no, I am not using the Game Boy camera. But
I don't know if he's talking about you or Cyclops though. That's the funny part.
That's true. He's got that screen tear going.
Yeah, but, it's like
normally audio is my biggest issue, especially for like when I'm streaming a game. Getting the audio for the actual game to come through. Everybody's always like, "Your game's too quiet. Your game's too quiet. Your game's too quiet."
Last time we streamed, your game was really low. You were good, but I couldn't hear what was going on in the game, and I'm like,
"Yeah, that's the one thing I have never mastered." And now my camera is deciding to be a pain in the ass. So,
But you sound great.
Oh, hey, thank you. I mean, I've been told I have a radio voice, so this kind of actually works. You can't see me, you can hear me.
I think they specified a radio face.
There you go. There you go. Either or, I've got both.
Yeah.
Looker, you might not know this, but this show actually did start as a radio show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was actually just me at the time. I was living in Wisconsin, actually, kind of where Koimia lives, and one of the local radio stations there.
Oh, that's
said
right.
That they were said that they were looking for shows, and I just went to them and I said, "Hey, what about a show about video games? We talk about this. Me being older, it'll be aimed at more adults, but we can aim it at kids." And they were really interested, and they brought it on, and I quickly became like the number 2 show on their station. And then it was so.
And we
weird,
know that number 2 is.
Yeah. But then it was so weird because I got in there, and then it was just me. And of course, the thing is, here we can swear. We're not bound by the FCC, but we can't play music because if we do, then YouTube gets mad. There, it was just me reading off the stories, telling my opinion, and I could put in like 2 songs, which I tried to keep them something geeky. I could put in 2 songs and take a break. And I was like, okay, so what's better? Then once we moved here, I had to quit. So I was like, okay, so what's the best way? Okay, let's do a podcast. And we were like, how's the best way to do this? Oh, crap, we can't play music. So I'm like, I think I like this better, though, because it's more of a free flow.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of people don't know that this started as a radio show.
I completely forgot that you had that radio show up there.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where it came from.
Yeah. I think I listened once.
I think I did it too, but yeah, I could just completely space my mind because that was a couple years ago.
Yeah, because it was on the radio and then I was recording it, so through the phone.
In my defense, I didn't know who you were, so I didn't listen to any of them.
Well, don't go listen to that stuff.
It's much older stuff at that point. I remember they asked me to march in one of the, I want to say it was some parade that they were having there. So they asked me to march into it and like hand out flyers. So I was like running up to kids going like, "Hey, do you play video games?" And these kids were like looking at me like, "Who are you, you one-eyed freak?" And I'd be like, "Listen to the show." They still
look at you like that.
Monty, they let the Cyclops out.
So I was like running up there, like, do you play video games? And they were like, "Yeah." Like
they're like, who doesn't? Like,
dude, I would have like turned that all around to like, this is what happens if you play too many games. Like,
remember when they told you that your eyes would go close? Well, mine fell out.
Mine fell completely out.
Wow.
I got so mad at a boss, I ripped my own eye out.
Oh.
So for the record, though, whenever somebody asks me what happened to your eye, I will switch up the story a lot of times. The truth is I lost it to cancer. But a lot of times people will be like, "What happened?" And I'll be like, "So my wife got wicked pissed at me one night." I mean, all I did was tell her, "Hey, you're getting a few gray hairs up here." And the next thing I know, she came at me with something shiny.
Wow.
After that, I remember...
You know when your mom tells you not to touch yourself because you'll go blind?
But I'll be.
Here's my look of regrets coming on.
The next thing I remember is the doctor saying, "How many fingers am I holding up?"
Well, I mean, you make fun of it, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, going back to like the bullying thing, if somebody can't bully you if you take it and make it yours, and you're like, you throw it back at them and make fun of them, and then they're like, well, what the fuck do you do now? Like, that's kind of how you get over that stuff. And I really like that you're strong enough that we can make those jokes, right? And we can all laugh about it.
It's nothing I haven't said.
Right.
Yeah, that's like that comedian. I don't know if you're familiar with Josh Blue.
Yeah.
He was doing something one day, and somebody asked him like, well, are you offended when people make jokes about, disabled people and all that? And he's like, I'm more offended to think that you guys could offend us by saying these things because we've said shit 100 times worse.
Right.
And so, but
yeah.
I also think, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's where Cyclops actually came from. When I was a kid, people asked me all the time, like, "What happened to your eye?" Or they would make fun of me. They'd, call me all kinds of names. And eventually, I kind of realized I was like, so the whole laughing. I think it was actually South Park that kind of showed me this. That remember like the Terry Schiavo episode? Yeah, where they were pulling the plug, and it was like, well, they weren't making fun of it to be mean. It's like you have to.
Was that
care
South
about
Park
it.
or was that Family Guy?
That was South Park. Because they switched Terry Schiavo out for Kenny, and that's where they pulled the plug on him, and he died for real.
Okay,
for real.
I was going to say, didn't Family Guy do an episode where they had like the Terry Schiavo musical?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
something like that.
I think that was just a gag that they did, but yeah, South Park did like an entire episode, and where they were saying like, just because we have laughs at it or make some jokes doesn't mean that we don't care. In fact, that's maybe our way of understanding things. And that's how I've always kind of thought of it, where, okay, so yeah, they're making fun of the eye, but it's because most people don't see somebody with one eye every day. I do, my wife does, my family does.
They don't see, right?
Yeah.
So, a fun little comment on that, Cyclops. My cousin Bobby, Dingy's dad, for context, okay, Dingy's dad, he is also missing his eye. Right, and he was missing his eye ever as a kid. He had a shotgun shell, an anvil, and a sledgehammer. He did the bang and shot himself in the face. And as a little kid, swear to God, true story. And as a little kid, but he has a glass eye, right? And he'd always take his eyeball out and put it on the table while he babysat me. He's like, "I'm watching you."
Oh,
and then, oh my God!
And I just remember being like, "Holy crap!" And I couldn't I was little, so I didn't like comprehend that. No, he can't, right? So I had to be on the couch. Just women proper, like, and he's over in the kitchen making me a sandwich or whatever. He's my babysitter. He's like 10 years older than me or whatever like that, but absolutely mortified by it. And
you are still traumatized by it to this day by seeing that.
Oh, it was a thing.
See, that's the type of shit I would do.
Right.
See, I used to be able to have an eye like that. Okay, I'm not sure where that sound's coming from.
Don't know either.
That sounds like a phone ringing.
It's like a phone.
Vibrating.
Oh, that is my phone. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, no problem. No, but I used to be able to have an artificial eye. I actually have like a whole stack of them. But when
stack of them?
Yes, I'm not even kidding.
Blue, a green.
What do I feel like today?
Because they made different ones as I was getting older. So because your skull grows. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I actually had a whole bunch of them. Well, when I had a surgery when I was 14, which was cranial reconstruction, when I had the chemotherapy and radiation, it actually stunted the growth of this side of the face. This side of the face, as I grew, this side was staying back here. So they pulled this side forward. And then for some reason, even Mayo Clinic doctors can't explain it. They said for some reason after that surgery, my body started trying to treat the eye socket like an open wound and try to close it. And no matter what they did, I went through like 2 other surgeries, and no matter what they did, the body was just like, well, screw you. I'm creating scar tissue. So eventually they said we can rip out everything we did and give you like this weird plastic thing that wouldn't look right and like put an artificial eye on it. And I'm like, okay, so I can basically look like a monster from the Goonies, or I can just let it close.
Hey, you guys.
Exactly.
Baby.
So, yeah, Yes, I was like, just let it close off, and they were like, yeah, that's what we do too. So that's why there's not here. And then of course after that, people were like, oh, why don't you wear a patch? I'm like, one, those are expensive, and two, no.
I mean, if it's not like a gaping hole that you can put something in, why do that? I mean, you could be kind of cool. You could get a parrot and walk around.
Well, I was thinking about getting like different video game theme patches and have every stream be like a different patch.
I mean, that's not a bad idea.
But that also gets expensive.
I mean, it does.
But if you learn to sew, you can make them yourself just out of like fabric, because it doesn't have to be elaborate, right?
Right.
And then me personally, if I was in your boat, I swear to God, I'd go to bed with the wife so often with a googly eye stuck to my face. You're looking good, baby. Like wiggling it around, and she'd go, what the fuck are you doing? I swear to God,
don't give him any ideas, because he might just still do that.
I see if you can go in any route.
Viral YouTube clip right there.
Right.
So, and I see here Mike Banky came back in. RoboCop Rogue City is available on PS Plus. Just started it. Got my first trophy for shooting a guy in the dick. That sounds like fun.
Yep.
I mean, that first RoboCop was pretty gnarly.
That game is actually really, really good if you haven't played it.
I know it's on the free thing. I just haven't done it.
Then, yeah, because I know Mike Banky, we actually used to work together. Cyclops, when we met, I was more impressed about the human body being able to adapt. I initially asked if you suffer from any sort of depth perception, and you overcame the depth perception. Yeah.
He's a better driver than me.
My wife just jumped in. Yeah, so yeah, I've actually learned to be a good driver, and depth perception has never really been a thing for me. It's the only thing not having both eyes has ever stopped me from was when I was 18, I wanted to join the military, and they wouldn't accept me specifically because of the eye. And when I asked, they said depth perception. When I said that's not a problem, they weren't willing to listen. So,
right.
That's fair. That checks.
Yeah.
At least you've been able to do everything you want to do, right? Like it hasn't been that debilitating.
Right. It's never stopped me from anything.
Right.
At least not that I know of, anyway.
Not that you could see.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. When I visited you down in Madison, when I was training out there, and you're like, what hotel are you at? I'll swing by and pick you up. I'm like, do I really want to get into a car with this guy? But that was interesting. The first like 20 seconds, and I'm like, all right, he's fine.
Well, my wife said when we first met in person, I always kind of kid her about this because we had talked online for so much before we started dating, and then we met online. Then we met in person, and the first thing she did was she looked at me, and then she wouldn't look at me for like 20 minutes after we.
Picture, remember?
Oh, I didn't realize she was right behind me.
Oops.
She said that the picture that I had on my dating profile at the time didn't really show that I had one eye. I put it in the description, but you don't get that idea. So of course I meet her, and she's like, "Hi, good to meet you." And then she's like kind of walking by, and I'm like, "Why won't she look at me?" Then.
She won't look you in the eye, huh?
Yeah, in my only eye. 20 minutes into the date, she had no problem, and we've been together ever since. But yeah, I kid her. I'm like, you wouldn't even look at me, and she's like, I've been looking at you ever since then, right? And I'm like, nope, you didn't do it. Then it'll be like, nope, you want to divorce me. She's like, I wouldn't have been married to you for over 20 years if it was an issue.
Right.
We will be soon.
How old are you?
I am 41.
Wow.
I do not look like it, especially when I
not at all. Well, I just like the 20 years. I'm like, wait a second. I've been married for 10. This guy like going on 57 and not telling us all, just baby face up in here.
Yeah. So, I was born in 84. I am 41.
85. I feel ya.
Yikes. That makes me the oldest.
Hey,
I was born in 80.
Neo, just be happy, man. You and I have exactly opposite haircuts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like nothing.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I've got going. Though it's starting to go a little thin in the back. And
I'm like,
no!
The world's smallest violin, dude. Come on.
My
wife
The only thing I had was like a little gray in the beard.
Yeah, it's starting to get gray in there too.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My wife always calls it the George Costanza. She likes me to grow it out. I'm like, well, there's nothing on top. It looks funny. She's like, oh, baby, it's the George Costanza. I think it's hot. I'm like, nobody thinks George Costanza's hot.
I mean,
nobody.
Some people do.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's not the look I want to go for.
I mean, if the wife's into it, maybe you could do a little role playing.
Oh, wow. You be Elaine.
No, and I see Koimiya, you're back. It looks like your camera's finally working.
Hey, what fixed it?
I don't know what the hell was going on with it, but I just reset my my NVIDIA broadcast, and
is that what was messing it up?
fingers crossed it's working again. So
okay, yay programs!
Yay!
Yep. And then Mike came back and said, I have ADD and I'm too honest, so I'd make a bad salesman for the company. I remember a company we used to work for. I don't think it was that or a bad salesman. I think we had bad leadership, but we'll avoid that.
I actually think I have incredible ADHD, and I try to be as honest as I can, almost to a fault. And I actually think that's what makes me a great salesman, is the fact that most people, if you're not trying to bullshit them, you're not trying to sell them something, you're just like, hey man, this is my opinion.
Here's the information. Yeah. I mean, when I used to do sales, a little bit that I did, it's just giving them the straight information that they've now got, that they can make the proper choice.
And if you don't know the answer, just say you don't know the answer.
Don't try. Or hey, let me go ask somebody. Let me figure it out for you. And don't try and bullshit nobody.
It served me so well being having that mentality on things. It served me so well, and I think that if you got a shitty product where you have to lie, cheat, and steal to sell it, do you really want to sell that product? I build fences for a living, so I'm selling a service to people's homes. I could talk fence all day, and my team's super good, so it's easy because I believe in what we're offering. I believe in the product. I believe in good customer service. I'm not BSing, but the attention deficit disorder, it's a thing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the weirdest thing, because I used to work at Babies R Us when it was still around, and I worked in the area that did breast pumps. So the people were always surprised that the amount of information I would give to them on that.
Can I sell you a breast pump?
Yeah. No.
What kind of voice were you using with the salesman?
No, but I would give them all the information and tell them each product, best one, whatever, and the bottles, all that. I'd give them all this, and they're like, "Holy crap! I never thought you, especially the way I looked." Then I had piercings all in my face when they allowed them. They're like, "Holy crap! You knew a lot of information." I was completely blown away by that. Because people are already judging that I don't know crap about this.
I know.
Or that I'm a man giving you this information.
And I would have had with it, and I've been like, this one's my favorite because it's the most comfortable.
It feels so good.
As long as you weren't a hands-on kind of salesman in that department.
Here, I'll show you.
Yeah.
It just fastens like this.
It's so bad.
That would have quickly become an HR conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And probably police involved. And maybe the news crew. Yeah. So, with my job, though, one of the things that my ADHD serves me well on with this is I can also be too honest to a fault, because with us working with Medicaid, a lot of people will call us and be like, hey, why won't it cover this? I've actually had people call me for video game addiction, and they'll be, how come it won't cover this, cover that, cover this? And I'll literally say, because they
because you play shitty games.
Yeah. But I'll just look at them I'll just talk to them and be like, you want to know why? Because for some stupid reason, they haven't caught up with actual medical science, and they haven't decided that they want to cover this because they don't believe it's real.
Right.
And I get a lot of them go like, I didn't expect you to be so honest. And I'd be like, well, do you want the honest truth, or do you want me to beat around the bush?
Yeah, you can sugarcoat it. I can, but
I had one manager tell me I needed to sugarcoat it, and my more recent manager has actually said we need more people to be like you. So I'm like, okay, now I've got two different people in charge telling me two different things.
Be yourself, most important.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Yep, and then I see Mike came back. He says, my brother is great. He's upgraded to loan officer at a bank and has been sent to California and Alaska to help the staff and the bank. All travel paid.
Nice. My wife works for the bank.
Oh, nice.
A Canadian bank, but yeah. She's a mortgage specialist.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So does she get paid extra to do that? Like, is there like a certain level, or is she like the same as a teller, just more for
it's so like for her, and like not to talk about her stuff, but it's like it's all tiered. So it's like, say one skill, you could do a teller's job, cool. And then you could do credit cards, and then you could do mortgages, then you could do investments. As you gain levels or skills, that's how their structure works. So she's been there a long time. So yeah, she worked up the ranks to get up to mortgages, and now she likes it. So that's where she's kind of like settled or stopped or whatever like that.
So now we know who to contact when we have to move up there.
Right. When we have to flee the country and we need a place.
Hey, just remember, our housing's way more expensive than your housing. I could legit sell my house, move to the States, and buy a castle for my very modest home that I live in here in Canada. So,
well, maybe when you guys get a new prime minister, that might level out a little bit.
Right.
It kind of depends on the prime minister. We got one that's extreme left and one that's extreme right. So
I mean, it's not much different than here.
Exactly. So right now we're flipping a coin, right? Like
pretty much.
To the same bird.
Exactly.
And then Mike was asking Neo, people don't understand people with body mods, that the body mod people usually have more knowledge than the average person about the body.
Yeah, I mean, there was also like, the early 2000s where all corporations were against piercings, tattoos, all of it. Like they would honestly, because I used to have 3 spikes in my lip, just big old spikes coming out, and they would get on me all the time. You can't wear that in front of the customer. I'm like, they don't give a crap as long as I'm giving them the information. Like I remember when I was, and sometimes I was a stalker, so I would be in the back, not even helping the customer, and they're still like ragging on me. I'm like, I don't even see the customer, but for a second, what does it matter? Like I remember, like Dick's Sporting Goods, they used to hound me constantly on that shit, and I even like tried to like say, "Oh, I'm part of the Church of Piercings" or some shit, just to get them to leave me alone.
This is an affront to my religion,
right? trying to do something so they would leave me alone. So it was just a different time, and then you started finally having like, I remember one time I was in Babies R Us helping a customer, and his face, literally, he had piercings all over his face, and it was an older gentleman. I'm like, look, this is who I'm serving. Why the fuck can't I have my piercings? And nowadays they don't give a crap like about tattoos. I mean, most piercing, like now you got kids tattooing their face. Like back in the day, that people would have fucking lost their minds.
I know some places it depends. Still, like they don't care about tattoos, but they care what the tattoo is.
Right.
That's kind of fair.
I mean, like
I have on your chest. I mean, on my arm, I have like you can't really see it, but this guy here is picking his nose. And I've got a girl, you can't really see it, but she's holding a bloody knife. A lot of people think that this is a gang sign, which
isn't
is
that
not
a medical.
Well, no, let's see. I get asked that a lot because it does look like the Navy medical, but it's actually from an anime, Full Metal Alchemist.
I've watched it.
It's the Flamel Cross.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And so, I've had people ask me if that's a gang sign. So, and then I have the Kingdom Hearts logo tattooed on my arm too, and a lot of people ask me if that's the Alkaline Trio heart. And but
I think that's actually how we started talking, is because of that tattoo.
Yeah, yeah. But so it's like when I first started my job at my current place, the district manager wanted me to wear long sleeves because of the guy that's picking his nose. And my store leader was like, just wear long sleeves when you know he's coming.
Right.
And, I mean,
it goes back to the... Go ahead. Sorry.
Even then, it got to the point where I'm just like, fuck that guy. And I stopped wearing long sleeves, and nobody has said a peep.
Right. It just goes back to like the older oligarchy or generation where they think you have to be all this prim proper when you're serving the customers. If I look like the customer, that's gonna make me want to go talk
More
to them
relatable.
more.
Yeah.
Right. Like, dude, this guy's just like a homie. Let me go just talk to him. He'll help me out. Like,
back in 2006 when Rachel and I first met, I was working at Borders Books in DeKalb, Illinois. Actually, I think Connor, you might know about that one. But there was a girl that worked there when I first got there, and she had piercings and she had tattoos all over her face. And I used to have customers come up to me and say, like, I'm surprised you guys would hire somebody like her. And I'd be like, why? Like, I had no idea what they were even talking about. And then when I actually got to know her, I was like, wait, she's into like the horror, but like she can sit there and have a conversation about romance books. I'm like,
right.
She can sell this. Why are you having such an issue? And I noticed after a few people, it was always people like over the age of 50 that had a problem. Nobody under the age of 50 had a problem.
So here's a question for you, Neo. How many piercings did you have at the most piercings you've had at one time?
I mean, it wasn't spectacular. I only had it in my face. I only had 4 piercings. I had the 3 spikes, and then I had the tongue piercing, and that was it. And then also, I'm a taller dude. I'm 6'4", so people are already kind of like scared or whatever. And then you have the spikes coming off the front there.
Okay.
I mean, I had the 2 on the lip. I had the nose ring. I had 3 in my eyebrow. I have 2 in this ear, but over time I've lost all the films in my face.
Right.
And upgraded the tattoos.
It really fucks up your teeth too, because like my dentist
it
would
really
always
does.
like, you got to get those done, and it's only been like a couple of years since I've pulled these out.
I think I had more piercings than you guys.
Right.
A lot more, actually. There was a time where I had the most I had at one time was 10, and only 6 on my face.
Yeah, you a nipple bag? You were a nipple guy, weren't you?
That only counts for 2. There's still more math missing.
I'm sure.
Okay.
I'll let you guys use your imagination for the rest, but I
don't want the image. Get it out of my hand.
It was like an M&M, like it melts in your mouth, right?
Wow.
So bad.
I wish I had this. I wish I had this queued up better, but we'll just say. Oh, I hit the wrong one. Sorry.
Good night, everybody.
Tunes.
Sorry, that would have been funnier if I'd hit the right one.
Yeah, it would have.
Yeah, we need to work on those.
We need some new ones.
And I said, bitch.
I said, bitch.
Okay.
But anyway, wait, this is a video game show, right?
But yeah, we got completely off track here, and way more personal.
Are we recording?
But it's fine.
Oh, wait, we got to start the show over.
Oh.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
I'm the Looker 204.
No, but we should ask though. We kind of skipped past this. Looker, so you are the co-host and co-creator of the DNL podcast. Tell us a little bit about your podcast, though. I know it kind of aims at more at games than everything else, but tell us how you got started.
So Dingy's been streaming for years and years and years, but he was a Call of Duty player through and through. That's his jam, right? So we'd play lots together. Oh, we should stream together, and he'd always like be bugging me and cool. So I decided, you know what? I'm very social. I'm very interactive. I'm very talkative. I'm going to stream with you. So we started streaming together, I want to say middle of summer of last year. And I really liked it, but I have a hard time focusing on the game and focusing on the chat. And if people are going to come to watch me, I don't want to be rude and not say hi and stuff like that. But then I'm like, oh, hi, John. How's it going? Oh, I'm dead. Oh, man.
Yeah, in that game, I could see where that's a
and I lived in the lobbies because of that. So I was like talking to Dingy. I'm like, I really like doing this. I really love the interaction, the building, the community and stuff like that. But I can't play Call of Duty. Like, I love Call of Duty. I like playing it, but I want to like unplug to play it, right? So we started talking about it. I'm like, oh, let's like, I listen to a lot of podcasts. That's my thing at work. I put my headphones in, listen to a podcast. I'm like, we should do one. Oh, but what? I'm like, Dingy, you know so much about video games and the gaming industry and stuff like that. And we know a lot of streamers collectively amongst the two of us. I'm like, why don't we like talk to streamers and about video games and like, we'll make a podcast out of it. And it literally snowballed from there very heavily. Like we've had 15 guests on. We've covered topics from mental health, from streaming, about content creation and stuff like that. And we went from just like a couple of dudes just shooting the shit about topics to really trying to help other streamers become something. Like I know with Cyclops Guy, I've talked to him about how do you market your channel, how to spread your reach to further categories and stuff like that. And then in our Discord, we help a lot of people set up OBS to link your accounts and stuff like that. Because when we started, nobody helped us, man. It was trial and error 100%. Yep. You guys know.
So now it's like going through right now.
Now that we know some things, we want to help people, and that's kind of how we've like set our roots in. If people like they come in, like they watch the stream, they're like, hey bro, do you mind if I ask you how you did that or how you did this? Yeah, for sure, man. Hop into Discord. Dingy and I are literally making videos like how to add overlays. I didn't pay for nothing. Every image, everything I've ever done in my stream, we made ourselves. And how do you do that? Oh, it's simple. Use this app, use this program, stuff like that. And that has literally been all of our success with everything. So like we're on episode 26 and that's how we built everything that we have to be where we are today. And that's kind of it in a nutshell.
So do you still like stream games then, or do you just do the
podcast is strictly Mondays, right? It's Monday 7:30 p.m. That's that. Right now we're big into D&D, so we have a month and a half series on Dungeons and Dragons, right? Where we're literally like playing D&D live. We have like same what you guys have here, but except we have the maps showing up, and we brought in a dungeon master that's well experienced, and he's taking us on an adventure, and that's what we're streaming on Wednesdays, right? So that's not, instead of just playing video games all the time, we're really diving into like the different worlds and realms of games, just because it's such a vast market of like so many different flavors and stuff like that. And then on Fridays we're pretty chill. We play COD, we play Elder Scroll, we play Command and Conquer, just kind of more of like what we're feeling with at that time, right? So yeah, and it's like an ever evolving thing. Like before we used to have random wacky Wednesdays where every Wednesday we had a wheel. We'd put all the games we both had on the wheel, we'd spin, and we'd play that game for 10 minutes. Right? Okay. Whether it was a Mortal Kombat match, a Command and Conquer match, if it was like a game of marbles or a race on Need for Speed, whatever it was, right? And then people in the channel would be able to like veto the wheel if they spent channel points to force us to play a game that they wanted to watch. So then it got people like really interactive with us, right? It just, I have a full-time job and I work 12 hours a day. I got twin boys, a wife. I can only sacrifice 3 days a week plus my editing and prep work, which I do at like 2 in the morning most of the time. Because the ADHD, I can't sleep in life. So yeah, that's
the joys of ADHD.
Yeah, well, it's just like I lay down in bed, it's 11 o'clock. And all I could think about, man, this would be a great podcast episode.
Your brain starts going. You're like,
I at 3 in the morning. I just wrote a 4-hour episode and I work in 2.5 hours. Holy crap. I'm going to be tired tomorrow. Shit. Right?
I think we've all been there. I don't know. I forget. Koimia, do you have ADHD?
Yeah, I've never been diagnosed. I mean,
I know that Brian and I do, or neo-deth and I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you just dox your buddy?
Huh?
Sometimes we forget.
No, trust me, I know.
I was talking about that on my stream earlier today. I know Koimiya, you're very strict on you want your persona of Koimiya to be separate from who you really are. You don't like your name being used.
I try to.
And that stuff. And Adam and I kind of splash in between the both. So we're like, I'm using my own personal Facebook page to promote myself and whatnot. So I mean, I don't.
It's like my friends and family know. I mean, I have the Koimiya Facebook page, but then when I'm streaming, I will share it on my personal one. But because my friends and family know it's me. But for like the average Joe viewer, I try to keep it separately. I mean, people know I'm married, people know I have kids, but I don't want them knowing who my kids are unless it's a picture I post, because I will post them from time to time, like on my Twitter feed. But and I mean, there's
what
obvious.
It mainly is to keep the family more secure.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, it's like there's obvious things. I mean, Cyclops has said that I live in Wisconsin. I'm wearing a fucking Quick Trip shirt. I mean, that's a dead giveaway right there.
I didn't mean to give personal info, but
but yeah, it's. I try to. I mean. Yeah, I don't have any delusions of grandeur that I'm, this big famous streamer that I need to keep all that shit private.
Right.
But it's just a thing I try to do. I mean, I don't care if you guys slip up and say my name, whatever, because like I said, most people that are watching this are all family friends. So, but
I'm actually with you a lot on that. Like, I don't use my real name for 90% of stuff. Majority of people that know my online presence don't know my real name. They don't know where I live. Like, if you're smart, you can kind of figure it out by my name, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like Adam, Cyclops Guy, when I met him, I was like, hey, message me on my personal account because now we're buddies. We have a relationship. I think he's a good guy. I don't think he's going to try to come and like kidnap my children. If you do, it's your problem, man. They eat like horses. So
hey, can you show up tomorrow about 3 p.m.? Right? I need to take the wife out.
But I personally agree with you. Like, I've separated my online presence and my personal presence, even though, again, I share it on my personal Facebook because those are friends and families. I trust those people, else I wouldn't have them on my personal account. But my online presence, I do try to keep it more separated. You've seen my kids in the background of my streams and stuff like that, but I'm in control of that. I know that they're properly dressed. Their things are controlled and stuff. Well, yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I had my little guy Logan. I didn't see it. Dingy messaged me because my little guy came down to get laundry. And he just like walks by in the background in his gitchies. Right, he's all proud of himself, going to like change the laundry. Like, buddy, come on.
It's like on I did a recent Twitter post. About when we went to see the Minecraft movie, and I posted a picture. It's my boys in front of the Minecraft movie poster. I'll do a bet like you said. It's shit I control. So.
Yeah, there was a streamer that I watched. He actually got banned from Twitch for just like 3 days, and they tried saying that it was because of I'm going to say this without trying to get us banned. Basically, his daughter, who was 3 years old, his wife was getting ready to give her a bath. And apparently she got away from him. Yeah. And the way he had the camera, it was like aimed right at the door. Well, the little girl came in. So of course she doesn't have any clothes on. And everyone was like, everyone that I knew of, we were just sitting there like, oh, it's a dad, and he didn't like, try to shoo her away. It's like she ran up to him and he was like, hey, how's it going? Just gave her a hug, and mom came right in and he was like, up, here you go, wave hi. And then Twitch banned him because she came in with no clothes. And I was like, that was more of a father moment. That wasn't supposed to be anything bad, But
on the other hand, you have the weirdos out there that are watching that are probably like, oh, make a kid, so, it wasn't fair, but it was, it's.
I'd rather that be the problem with Twitch banning people for those honest, innocent mistakes. To protect the children and keep predators away and stuff like that than the other, right? Like, it sucks for Buddy. I'm sorry, but I like you said, I kind of agree with that because that's what, not Twitter, sorry, Twitch. That's their job, is to make sure that stuff doesn't happen on their platform.
Right. No, I mean, I kind of understood where Twitch was coming from. At the same time, I was like, that's ridiculous. I do understand, like, people could take screenshots and, do all, there are those bad people out there. But.
Right.
Mike came out here and said, did you guys love Battlefield Friends YouTube
Neebs Gaming?
Neebs Gaming.
Yeah. Cyclops Guy, you've seen my friend in our streams, Jink?
Yes.
She is absolutely in love with Neebs Gaming, and the amount of clips she sends me of like, oh, look, you got to check out Neebs Gaming. Got to check out Neebs Gaming. Like, I follow the channel. Like, I probably watched this already, but thanks for sending it to me again. I'll make sure to check it out a third time.
Yep, and then he came back. Cyclops, let me know if you or a few friends want to hit the range. We can shoot trap or test your long range accuracy with my M1 Grand.
Yeah, beautiful gun for the record. Oh. Yeah, we have super strict gun laws here, like crazy strict, and yeah, my 30-30 lever would probably top out your M1 Grand any day of the week, bud.
So I gotta ask. Here in the States, the gun laws really depend state to state, and they can also depend, township to township, and even county to county. Is that the same way in Canada? Like, does it just depend on where you're at, or is it like a all-encompassing law?
So every province has their own laws, but the federal laws that have come out in the last 10, 15 years are way more extreme, that they just overweight all the provincial laws. So like technically, yeah, they got provincial laws, but the federal laws are just way more heavy. So it just, yeah, like say like hypothetically, we're gonna go to the range, say like I have my pal, like I'm registered, all that stuff like that. If I were to take a handgun to the range, I have to call the RCMP. I have to let them know how many rounds I have, what weapons I have, the direction I'm going. I'm not allowed to make any pit stops. I have to go there, sign in, notify the RCMP. Now I'm here with my weapons. I'm going to be there for an hour and a half. And when I go to leave, notify them again that I'm on my way home. If I by chance stop at Tim Hortons, cliche, for a coffee, I could literally get arrested and lose all my firearms because of that. Because I've gone outside of my path that I've outlined to them. Wow. Right? Like our laws are very, very strict. And that's why people are like, oh, like, gun crime's not a thing in Canada. I'm like, actually, we got really bad gun crimes because in the U.S., your gun laws are very loose. So everybody smuggles American guns to Canada.
Huh. So well, with us, it really depends on what state you're in. If it's going to be really loose, like here, where I live, more towards the south, you could walk in and grab a gun and just wait 5 days, and they'll hand it to you. I know in other ones, and actually, I think here in the county that I'm at. One of our guys literally walked in, threw down his credit card, and they did like just a quick background check, and he got it that day. I know, but like if you go into Chicago, which is kind of weird because they have the strictest gun control laws, but yet they have the highest gun crime, which is odd that it works like that. But
it's like not if you guys want to change the topic, we totally can. But like say for hypothetically, like I think we'd all agree 99% of gun crimes aren't legal gun owners, right? It's mostly bad guys that don't have them legally, first of all. But like for my license, I get my background checked. I think it's like every 15 days. So the RCMP in Canada run everybody's license every 15 days. So hypothetically,
15 days. Wow.
Hypothetically, you and I got into a fist fight. I'm deemed violent. And probably within 15 to 30 days, it would be at my door confiscating everything. Oh, right? Wow, if I went to the mental institution or something like that, like, hey, I need help, I need therapy, something like that, they would investigate me instantly.
I mean, I think that, the United States would really, like, take that and, like, because a lot of it is, like, frustrations and whatnot, and mentally ill people that need help because our mental, like,
healthcare system
is just shit. We don't care about them. We just push them out and put them on the street. And then what do you expect to happen? Really?
And then when they commit a gun crime, then all of a sudden we're like, oh, the gun didn't commit the crime. It was the person. They need mental health. And it's like, okay, why don't we get more facilities? Well,
why don't we have that mental health? Like,
right. But I think from all of our perspectives, being all across North America, we would all agree that like we should have really intelligent gun laws, right? We all agree that bad guys shouldn't be allowed to have guns, and we all agree that we should be helping those people that need that mental health issues and stuff like that. Like all the answers to all the problems we all agree on, whether you're a gun owner, not a gun owner, all that stuff like that. We all agree. I agree. I'm a gun owner. I agree that we should be helping people with mental health issues, whether or not a gun's involved. If you think you're going to do harm to yourself, please reach out. How, like, tell a friend, talk to a doctor, something. We all agree with these things, right? I think people convolute the two problems into one problem where they're two separate issues.
Right.
That's my opinion, and maybe that's just a very Canadian opinion. I'm not too sure, but a boot.
But yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for answering some of those questions and getting to that. I didn't know that they were so strict there in Canada.
Very strict.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
you know, we always hear about Canada, and we're like, "Oh, that's pretty much just America's attic. You're just like we are." And it's like, well, no, you're not.
What's up, Dingy?
Yep.
Hey, that's my boy.
How's it going?
And then Mike came in here and said, if it doesn't make money, then it doesn't make sense. That's the opinion of the government and Corp have. And it's sad. Yeah, that's
if they could make money off of mental health, which they've tried, and they're doing it off of prisons also, but if they can make tons of money off of it, they would fucking have that shit all over the place. You could drive up mental health issues and get a coffee while you're at it, like.
Yeah, that's a sad truth of reality, and that's the border means has no value in that. It's a sad issue, both parts. Right. We have the same problem here. Like, that's not any different.
So, well, while we're talking about like mental health and everything, and actually just things like that, there was one story that came out here that said young men are playing video games all day instead of getting jobs because they can mooch off of free healthcare, claims a congressman. And I really do not believe that to be true.
I don't know what free healthcare they're getting in this country.
I want to know what. Yeah, I work for Medicaid. I want to know what free healthcare they're talking about.
See, free healthcare is not what it's chalked up to be, though. I have free healthcare, and my wife was really, really sick a few months back, and it was like a 12-hour wait to see a doctor. And I'm talking like a 911 call. Right. It was 12 hours, and there's probably 60 to 70 people literally dying in the hallways while we waited.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just stretches, like.
Even with us, with our healthcare, it's the same thing. Like in ERs are like the worst.
Shit, if you try to make an appointment, it's at least 3 or 4 months out.
Right. I mean,
at least.
Yeah, at least.
So, what we should say, and I know, Looker, you can't speak for the whole country, but I know you guys in Canada have what do you call that? Not free healthcare, but
universal healthcare.
Universal healthcare.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people here in the States want universal healthcare, but from what I've seen, it comes with its own set of problems. Yeah, maybe you can go see a doctor for free, but there's a huge doctor shortage.
Yeah,
because it's so backed up. Because any hypochondriac with a pinky that hurts can go see the doctor.
Yeah, right. It's the ERs that are the problem. Like regular doctors, yeah. If you got a bad finger, go to the doctor. Mm-hmm. I agree, and that should be free. I do agree with that. But you shouldn't be in the ER. And I think that the problem is actually you guys are our problem, is that your doctors, and I swear to God, I'll elaborate. Our doctors and nurses don't get paid as much as you guys pay doctors and nurses. It's more competitive in the States. So they offer a lot more money. So it's like, hey, you go to school here, you live here. And it's like, hey, now I can live in Florida with beautiful weather. I can make 6 figures, own a home that's only going to cost me $150K for a nice home. Right? It's like, why wouldn't you want that? And then the U.S. government will extradite your application so you can like walk on in.
Right.
In Canada, you're going to be burdened with debt for your medical schooling and stuff like that. You're going to work in an understaffed hospital, working 16 hours a day. Right? Like, it makes sense why people are leaving. My solution to it, which I think is very simple, is we have a healthcare program where it's like, you say you get your education in Canada. If you stay in Canada for 10 years, we waive your schooling fee.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, right? That would encourage people to finish your schooling. That would encourage people to stay in Canada. Right. And that would also solve the problem of overburdened hospitals, while in the same breath, taking away those bad working conditions away from people. Like, it's not a tomorrow plan, but if we start it today, in 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, we could actually benefit or greatly increase the quality of healthcare in Canada. the other cost the other thing that people don't take into consideration is that we're heavily taxed, like crazy tax. Like I'm 45% off my paycheck, and then I get taxed on everything I touch, plus the carbon tax, which is like 300% or something like that. Like it's a silly number.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, like sure, we got free healthcare, but we've paid for it. We've paid for it full.
I mean, even when we were trying to get it too, like they were trying to figure out how it was going to get paid for and the taxes and stuff. So, like, I mean, it's got its pluses, it's got its minuses, right?
But it's just a lot of people I talk to act like that universal healthcare is the end all to end all, and it's the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, it makes things cheaper, but it also makes it you're going to wait longer for it. It backs everything up.
Could you imagine it waiting longer now? Like he said, like I remember I had a finger that was starting to go numb for the work I do, and I'm like, in July, I got the initial thing to go see a specialist. I didn't see that specialist until Christmas time. And then they still couldn't figure out what was going on. So I'm like, fuck it. Like, it's getting better now. So I guess it's fixed itself.
In the amount of time you could have helped me make this better and faster.
Right.
It fixed itself.
Right. It's also, there stems a little bit of like, I've heard people talk about the 2-tiered healthcare system. Because like, I'm not liberal per se, but I believe no matter what, everybody should have access to healthcare.
Right.
Right. Free of charge.
It's a human right.
I disagree with that.
Healthy. You don't think so?
We have way less human rights than we think we have. Because if we got rid of technology, we'd be literally living in mud huts, making fires, and here. Right. So our human right, but we are so far past living in mud huts and hunting deer barehanded and stuff like that we should just do it because we are kind and we're loving it. It's not a right. Man, I wouldn't call it that. Well, you guys have rights. We don't have rights. We have a charter. So maybe that's just the wording of it.
Okay.
But we are an intelligent society. We should just take care of people because we want to.
Right.
Period. Not to debate, not my side, your side, left, right. None of that bullshit. Just if you can't afford healthcare, have it. Go see a doctor. Get your ticker fixed. You broke your leg. Yeah, let's get a cast on there. And just simply because we're decent human beings and that's the right thing to do.
Right.
Right?
Like you don't get 5-star treatment if you can't, but at least you get it fixed.
Even still, if you're a doctor, your job is literally to heal, to work with the sick, the broken, and the needy. You should always get 5-star treatment from a doctor.
Well, yeah.
Right? That comes with the territory. I despise the mentality of people like, oh, I hate being a doctor. I have to listen to all these crappy people complain about this and that. Like,
well, no, I was meaning like, not, maybe you go into the regular hospital instead of a 5-star health spa.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I get that.
But yeah, kind of going. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Bring up the chat here. We got Dingy here. He said, "Sorry, couldn't make it on just finishing driving. Yeah, we're really sorry what happened, man. We understand.
No, we'll definitely bring you on at another time.
Yeah, we can always have you on at a different time. It's just
he puts the D&D in also. Just saying.
Yeah. And then he also said,
that sounds weird. I'm sorry.
Waited 12 hours for a completely fucked ankle. Like, I mean, to me, that doesn't, I mean, it sounds long, but I've waited because my mom growing up, she was always in the ERs because she had really poor health. Like, I've waited days, just sitting there waiting, what are we doing?
He's referring more to the fact that his foot touched his shin.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Right? Like it was one of those, and it was a 12-hour wait for them to be like, "Yep, it's fucked. Let's bring him over to the other room."
Wow. Okay.
It's a little different, right? It's one of those things like, "Oh, we got to get some tests done." No. I think just by looking at it, everybody knew. Yeah, that's fucked. Let's put him over there for a little while. And
isn't that arm supposed to hang like this?
Yeah.
So if somebody walks in saying hey, my arm is off my body and it's not supposed to be like that, they'll literally say, hey, go wait over there for 12 hours. We'll see what we can do.
Well, they don't purposely do that, but believe it or not, that it's just the healthcare system was so overrun that's where he fell on the priority list.
Right.
Oh God. See,
right? So it's
that's
like,
why I
Yeah,
think
just
maybe
walk
not the
it
best
off.
thing.
Yeah,
Just
just walk it off.
imagine going in for needing stitches. You're bleeding. You got like you're pouring blood, all that stuff like that. He's sitting in the corner with his leg all fucking gibbled up. You're like, well, I'm gonna go get some gauze, I guess.
Rub some dirt on it.
Yeah.
Would you like some Jello while you wait? As they give everybody there.
More like
I
give 'em
heard like the
lube.
only reason the Jello company is actually even still a thing is because hospitals buy so much of it.
I don't know, man. My kids eat a lot of like Jello product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like those little fruit cups or like Jello cups and where it's like the 3-layer, like 3-color little fruit cups, Jello cups.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Those
Yeah.
things. Whew, go through tons of them.
But yeah, kind of going back to the story that I was talking about here. Yeah, the young men playing video games. It's actually to justify Medicaid cuts. Our House Speaker Mike Johnson says that the healthcare program leads to able-bodied young men playing video games instead of working. I won't go through this whole article, but yeah, basically, just right here, he says you return your dignity of work to young men if we were to cut Medicaid. Basically, he's just trying to get rid of Medicaid because he thinks I'm playing Sonic instead of working.
I was gonna say, isn't that like an affront to all of us, like streamers? Like they think that we're not doing anything. It's again back to that like the old oligarchy that can't figure out. Oh well, they're just playing video games. What are they doing? You could make a living off this if you get your everything rolling.
So just a quick show of hands, though. Who out of us four has a full-time job on top of this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right? So, and I don't know very many streamers that aren't financially set up where they can do this full-time. Like, I know a couple people that they've made their wealth or they've enabled themselves to be able to do this for full-time without worrying financially. Right. But everybody else I know, they have a full-time job. They do all this in the background in the evenings and weekends. Like, is that really
there was
a bad thing?
One streamer that I follow that went to make this as a full-time, this is going to be my living, and I think he lasted 4 months tops, and he's back to I gotta work, I gotta do this. Like, I don't think he realized how much actually has to go into making this a full-time thing, like you guys
it's still a job, right?
You guys do you three take this more seriously than I do, and I freely admit it. You guys talk about editing your clips and doing this shit for TikTok and doing this shit for YouTube and doing this shit for that, and I'm just like, what the fuck ever. This is fun. I just do this.
Follow me, don't follow me, whatever you want to do.
I'm like, and that's the irony. I get the irony in the fact that, I'm broadcasting out to like 5 different platforms and maybe have 1 viewer. And it's usually my iPad to make sure that everything is running okay. But like I said, I think this guy didn't realize just how much actually you need to do to make this a full-time thing. And that's where, it's like, on the one hand, I despise the big streamers because I'm just like, it seems like every streamer
to do this.
Well, how do you have time? But it seems like, I don't know, it's like once they hit a certain stage, they become a fucking douchebag. and
we're looking at you, Dr. Disrespect.
And it's like, I mean, I get it because you're going to have a certain amount of arrogance because I've done all of this shit myself and I'm doing this, 24 hours a day and da-da-da-da-da-da. But just be fucking humble, I mean, I have friends that are starting to get bigger, but they are humble as all hell. And they're like, they still take the time to, interact with chat and do all of this shit. And I mean, I see some of these big streamers where it's like you watch their chat, you can't even fucking read what the chat is saying.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like,
how does he?
I don't
even know how you keep up.
Oh, they don't anymore. Yeah. That's the thing, and I think they lose.
They lose their personality. They lose their humanity. It seems.
Yeah, there's because you can't keep up with that chat. So it's like, who are you streaming for at that point? Are you streaming just to get that money because you know these people that are watching you are just going to throw money at you regardless? I mean, you could stream like who's the fucker that streams themselves while they're even sleeping? Who's the idiot that wants to fucking watch that? You know, I don't get it. And
the wife showed me that, and I was like, "Really? Someone's streaming that?" And they had like a huge people there. I was like,
and they're making like tons of money. You know, I don't know. I'm the old man screaming at the cloud at this point, but you know, just
I mean, there's a niche for everybody, I guess, right? Like, I guess like my niche is I'm trying to play for the losers. Like, I'm always the one that's the one on the losing end of Magic the Gathering. So that's kind of who
I hear you raging when you do that, and I'm just sitting there like trying to focus on my call, and hearing you go like motherfucker. You know, I'm just sitting there like, okay, I've got to turn.
I try and keep it calm, but I just get so frustrated of the opponent just always having exactly what they need.
You're the same way with Assassin's Creed too, though. You're like, you're the same way with.
Thanks, Dingy.
Dingy said there isn't enough roasting of the looker. Sorry, we got to roast you more.
I
think
we have already.
He just wasn't here for it, so now he feels like he missed out. You're gonna have to watch the VOD, dude.
Yep. This is how. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's your podcast.
How hard would you have to work to make streaming a full-time job? Recording, editing, posting. That was the thing. Is actually I talked to one of the hosts, or actually the creator of Sugar Gamers, Keisha Howard, and I saw she put up on her status one day. Who knew that working in the video game industry would mean you didn't have time to play said video games?
Right.
And it's because they were doing, like, she's putting together the events, she's editing, she's, you know, I know she's got a little bit of a team behind her, but not enough that she can just do everything, you know?
So that's just it.
Yeah, she's sitting there going like, I have maybe 1 hour to play a game that I have to give a 20-minute speech about.
And that's just it, you know, how hard how hard is it to make streaming a full-time job? Well, how good do you want to look? Mm-hmm. You know, the more you put into it, the better it's going to be. Like, I mean, like I said, I make the joke, you know, dad by day, gamer by night, sometimes streamer, and we all make the joke, hey, look, Koimia is streaming for the first time in 5 months, yeah, you know, and it's because of how hard you want to make this your job.
But even on the flip side of that, so I've, last couple of weeks, I've put in at least like 7 hours on a couple of my days. And again, like, I'm not having huge numbers of people coming in or anything. So, I mean, even if you're just grinding it out, you can't do that. You have to have the content. You have to find your audience. You have to put people in the seats.
I mean, I did the grind to become affiliated with Twitch. You know,
yeah, that's what I'm working on right now.
And once I hit that, I'm like, fuck trying for partner. And then I was going to put the grind in to become affiliated on Kick, and then they went and changed their whole thing, and now you only have to stream 5 hours and you can get that sub button. And I mean, there was other platforms that I was part of, you know, before I killed them off. But
you killed them?
where you would get a sub button right from the start, which I thought was awesome. But yeah.
So yeah, Looker, did you hear that story about how Koimia is pretty much the Grim Reaper for streaming services?
No.
Yeah. So any platform that's like indie and trying to get off the ground, because I for the longest time I absolutely hated Twitch, and I did not want to stream on Twitch, and so I started looking for alternatives, and I found Mixer. Well.
Yeah,
I joined Mixer, and like 3 months later, and then I found LiveSpace, and I joined LiveSpace, and that one almost lasted a year, and now that one, and so I make the joke that I joined these.
Like, well, I think I've joined most of yours because you tell me you're going to be on them, and I make an account, and I watch you a couple times, and then
it's gone. Yeah, and it's like there's this other one that's out there. It's called SharePlay, and they've been in beta for like over a year and a half, and now like beta 2.0 is supposed to launch this summer, and I'm a part of them. We'll see how long that one lasts. But there's other platforms out there that I hear about, and I'm like, do I really want to put my eggs in that basket? Because part of me knows it ain't happening.
So do you really want to put those people out of a job?
Yeah.
I have 2 comments I want to make. First, you, Neo. I can help you get affiliate in probably 3 weeks with no hacks, no nothing like that. I swear to God, it's a mathematical recipe, and Dingy and I have like figured it out. It's a numbers game, 100%. If you want to talk off stream, I'll happily kind of like tell you this the steps, because I hit affiliate in 3 weeks from 0 followers to affiliate.
Hey, at least you're not one of those people that keeps hopping in my stream and tells me, "Hey, I can help you. Let me get into your Discord and talk to you." Like, I hate
follow for follow.
No, follow for follows never work.
Follow for follow is the biggest joke.
It's a scam, 100%. It's fake views.
Let me say, if you're trying to get affiliate and you're under 50 followers, follow does work, because you have to have at least 50. But after you hit that 50, it's complete crap.
But yeah, we can talk about that after. 100%. It's a mathematical equation. If you go A, B, C, D, it's easy. And then Koimia, you were talking about like he commented Dr. Disrespect about big streamers, how they're like egotistical and arrogant and stuff like that. I don't believe that happens when people get big. I believe a guy like Cyclops, if he got partnered tomorrow, he got this massive following, he grew to fame and all this kind of stuff like that, he'd be like, "Hey guys, can we still do the podcast?" Right. Because it's who he is at the root of all things. A guy like Dr. Disrespect, I think that guy is just arrogant. Before he was popular, before he made it and all that stuff, he was that guy. And now he has such a bigger platform to express who he truly is, that we see it more.
Either
right?
That, or he's going for the fame. He wants the notoriety, right?
Well, there are
trying to think about that
bigger
today,
streamers.
like what I wanted.
There are some bigger streamers that are still humble like that.
Yeah.
Like I had mentioned earlier, I think even before we were on stream, but BB Jess.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, I don't even remember how I came across her streams, but I've been watching her for a while, and she is getting bigger and bigger. And she's now like one of the co-hosts or something of DreamHack even this year, and she was even last year, I think, and all that. But she's still, I swear to God, she is like one of the most humble, down to earth people. Like, she still interacts with her chat, and I mean, she doesn't have the flying 400 chats a second thing, but because there's been times where I've commented and she's actually responded to it and stuff like that. So she's got a good head on her shoulders, but it's few and far between.
For sure. But this is a vain industry to begin with, right? It's like we're like the nice guy in a COD chat room. Well, there's going to be a couple of them, but for the most part, you're in a COD chat room. You're in that niche, right?
Right.
But I think most of the time it's a reflection. Like BB Jess, you said her name was? I bet you, I'd gamble against you right now that if we met her in real life, that's exactly who she is, on stream, off stream, towards your family, towards your friends. I bet you.
I'm sure of it.
Right.
I'm
So
sure of it.
Our popularity as streamers, as it gets bigger and we grow and stuff like that, all we're doing is projecting who we really are on a larger audience. So if you're a dick, you're going to be a dick to 400 viewers, where if you're a dick to 3 viewers, you're still a dick, but no one's watching. Right? Like, so yeah, a guy like Cyclops Guy, if you ever made it big, man, I swear to God, you'd still be hitting me up. Hey, bro, you want to be on my podcast? You want to hang out? We want to, right? But that's just like I'm just picking on you because I know you the best. But that's just who you are at the soul level of you as a person. You're just a nice guy, and any level of fame, you're still gonna be that guy. So Dr. Disrespect, he's just a dick. On stream, off stream, and the dick in the bathroom. He probably has one in his hand right now. Let's be real. I don't.
I definitely would. The only real big difference is we'd probably have more expensive podcast equipment. It would probably look a little better, it would function a little better, and then we have somebody being hired to edit.
Maybe not.
Yeah, and I also swear someone edits a lot of video. If I ever made it, that would be the first thing I paid for, is someone else to edit my videos. Yeah. Everything else I love. I even like doing that, but it just
It's so long.
Yeah, it takes you 4 hours of time to like for me, it's about 4 hours to edit a 2-hour podcast, and that's if it's a really clean episode. Right? We've had a couple where it was like 6, 7, 8 hours to do one episode so I can upload it to Spotify. Oh, Cyclops, why aren't you on Spotify?
Yeah, I think we were going to ask you like how we get out to more of the like Amazon Prime, Spotify, all them, so we can have it out there like that.
The absolute easiest way is that if you download your episodes, your VODs, okay, you edit them, put them into an editing software. I can send you a link to a free one that I use, but it has to be an editing software just for the formatting of it. And then you make a Spotify creators account. I just linked mine to my actual Spotify account. And all you need is the RSS feed of your VOD. You plug it into Spotify. It's going to give you an RSS feed number. And then literally you just sync up all your other accounts to Spotify. When I post it on Spotify, it automatically goes out to all the other platforms. The hard thing for me was figuring out where to get that RSS feed from to be able to produce it everywhere else. Because once it goes into Spotify Creator, I swear to God, my title, my tags, all my stuff goes out to everything equally. And I'm just slowly like, okay, go to Apple. How do you get the Apple RSS feed link? Oh, there it is. I plug it into Spotify. Now it automatically uploads for me.
Okay, kind of like Beam then, like where it's just splitting it everything.
Exactly. And then Spotify also tracks your like if you watch my podcast on Apple Music, I'll still get that view on Spotify. Right, so it tracks all my algorithms, so I can see like my audience who like I got like a 95% male dominated audience between 25 and 35. That's my audience. So cool. It's good to know.
Right.
Now, how do I get out of that audience though? Right, because my thing is like, yeah, cool. You got an audience, you love them. These are my people, but I want to expand that audience. And we've had girls on the podcast, so maybe now it's more relatable to other females or people of different sexual orientations and stuff like that, just so people know we're not sitting on one trick. Right? I got one trick pony. I'm not on Adam Sandler's here. I want a wide array of different types of people to
Jack Black.
Yeah, I don't want to be that Jack Black. And I'm not as funny, and I'm a little bit better looking. My beard's nicer.
Yes, I agree.
I spent a lot of time on this puppy, man. My personality all wrapped up into a chin line.
You know, I used to have just a mustache, and if you see that, it just doesn't work for me.
No. It kind of looks like my pubic hair, to be honest. Like, it's all fuzzy on top and bald on the bottom.
Well, I remember I had the mustache. It was just the mustache. I grew it up pretty thick, too, and my wife was like, you are shaving that, or I am shaving it for you.
You're going to wake up without one.
I mean, for the longest time, I couldn't grow a mustache, and it wouldn't connect right here. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me?
Well, she told me, she said, you know what you look like, right? And I was like, what? And she's like, you look like a one-eyed Ron Jeremy. You're getting
and I was like, oh my God. All right, let's get that shaver. Let's get that.
Oh, that's so bad. So I like go ahead.
I was just like, yeah, I shaved it that night. I was like, nope, this is gone. So ever since then, I always joke with her. Like, she'll be like, hey, are you shaving today? And I'll be like, yep, everything but the mustache, right? And she's like, God, no.
I've been with my wife now. Like, we've been married for 10 years, together for about 15. And she's seen me without a beard 3 times in that whole window. And 2 out of the 3 times was literally I'm trimming the beard because I don't like the underbeard, right? So I trim it. And like that, my dog would bump my arm.
Damn it.
Yep. No.
Well, guess that's got to go.
Yeah, for the next week I'm at work. Hey, so you want to buy a fence? Right, just like all my self-confidence fell off. And
well, back when COVID happened, you had the mask that we had to wear, so that would have just covered all that.
Yeah, thankfully.
So, as I said, this show started as a radio show, and I actually didn't know what my producer looked like without his mask because it started in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
So the very first day, it was about a year. I want to say maybe a year and a half later. I went in there to get the key for the studio, and this guy opened the door, and he's like, "Hey, Adam." I'm like, "Hey, who are you?" And he's like, "It's me." And I was like, "Oh, I've never seen," because he had like that big N1 mask that like covered the whole face, and I was like, No, I don't like this. This looks weird.
I mean, yeah, during the COVID thing, people looked different from just like this. Like I can see how, remember Home Improvement, how you couldn't see the neighbor. It would always be hidden. You're like, and then you finally saw him. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah. I had coworkers like that, a year and a half working at retail, and all you see is this, and then the mask finally comes off, and you're like, "What the fuck?" Like,
it's either you're pretty or that's what you look like.
Please put the mask on, please.
Put the mask back on.
Why does that resonate so much with me? Like, I felt like I heard that a lot. No. Put it back on.
Do us a favor.
Just to catch up with chat here, Gingy said, "I'm like KoimiaX." I think that's when you were talking, yeah. And then Gingy came back in and said, "I find you're faking who you are for follows, views. Once you hit the size, they give it up."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, like with Matt Malone, he was the one that I told you with his daughter. And he goes by Matt Malone TV on Twitch. He has never lost who he was. I actually grew up with him, and he was always kind of the class clown, the goofy guy, really super friendly, goofy guy. And when I first started watching him on, when I found out that he was streaming, it's just Matt Malone in front of a camera. His personality did not change. The only thing that changed a little bit was now the way he talks, where he goes, and if you really want, you can buy this steering wheel, because he does a lot of the iRacing stuff. He's like, buy this steering wheel, and it's like, okay, well, he's obviously doing a plug here, but he's going to do that for the sponsors.
Yeah.
Mike said, have you all become a bit cynical at the world as you get older? I know I have. The best way to avoid it, stop paying attention. The oblivious life is nice until life happens.
I mean, yeah, I was talking about this on stream earlier today. Like, when you're growing up and you're, in your 20s, you're all worried about how you look. You got to be, pristine and whatnot. And then as you get older, you're like, I don't give a fuck. This is me. If you like it, like it. If not, so long. Like, as you get older, you become that person of, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
You either like me for who I am or get the fuck out.
With the childhood I had to have, I always kind of became more of a I don't care kind of thing until I didn't care until I did. I don't know how you guys ever felt. Like, I didn't care until I did, and then I cared until I didn't.
See, I'm actually the exact opposite of you, Neil. Like, when I was younger, I didn't really care about how I looked, people's perception of me and stuff like that. And as I've gotten older, I was super poor when I grew up. Like, my parents were dirt poor. I come from very nothing beginnings and stuff like that, or very humble beginnings per se. So as I got older, now that I have a job, I can afford, like, hey, I got a nice sweater, I got a clean hat. I feel like I could project the me out in the world of who I am. Where when I was younger, it's like, well, I have 4 T-shirts. I got to cycle through them for 7 days. So, right? Let's hope this one has less tomato stains than yesterday's shirt, right? So I think there's a little bit of a balance of both. But I'm also like you, where if you don't like me, you can kick rocks. I like that part. I agree on, but yeah. I come from nothing, so like I like to like feel good, look good, have the beard on point. Like, for a guy that says he doesn't care, your hair is pretty nice.
I mean, that's because everybody knows me. Most people know me in my personal life for the mohawk. Like, actually, at work, I have a different name. Everybody calls me Rooster because of the mohawk. So I've just had to keep it up. But yeah, I mean, there are streams where I don't have it up, and it's just all over the place.
If I saw you without a mohawk or without the hair doing something in some way and saw you in a hat, I probably wouldn't even recognize who you were. It's like I see the 3 of us wearing hats, and I'm like, yep, but he's not going to wear one.
I mean, there are days when I do it, but yeah, usually if, like, again, now that I know that I'm doing this, I do make sure I don't take
I want
down.
you to wear a hat next week.
Okay, I can do that.
I shaved the beard. I want you to wear a hat next week.
Can it be any hat? I can advertise anything, and does it have to be
I've got the self
front-facing?
promo hat going. No, it does not have to be health. I just want to see you in a hat.
Okay, we can do
I've
that.
got a top hat and a monocle.
I mean, I do have crazy hats.
There you go. Luca has a top hat.
I do have other hats, and I kind of like. I was thinking about it. I can do it for like Halloween. Just wear different shit.
Cyclops, I think you should wear a monocle in your non-eye.
If I can get one. So, that reminds me, actually, a couple of years ago, this is actually back when I was still in Wisconsin, my job actually asked us if we would go do like a bowling tournament. And the theme was pirates and princesses. And I was just kind of joking with Rachel. I was like, how about you dress as the pirate and I'll dress as the princess?
That would have been good.
I was like, you can do the whole swap
crazy
thing.
Shit like that.
But then I got to work one day and they said, hey, Adam, can I ask you something without offending you? And I was like, I don't know, just kind of joking around. I was like, I don't know. What are you going to ask? And they were like, would you mind being a pirate? And I was like, okay, fine. And they were like, would you mind wearing a patch? So, and instead of just joking around or instead of just taking it, I literally looked at him and I was like, oh yeah, which eye should I wear it over? So they thought that was funny, but I literally walked into the Pirates and Princesses with Rachel guiding me so I didn't hit anything with the pirate patch over here. And I was like, why is this so funny, guys?
And dude, I think you should go as Phil Ken 7 for Halloween one year. Yeah.
Maybe this year.
You ever watch Birdman, Harvey Birdman?
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Stephen Colbert does his voice.
Mm-hmm.
So great. So
and then to keep up with chat here, said it all comes down to what you want done. It could be 100 hours a week, or it could be 2 to 4 minimum stream. Or if you have a team, but at that point you're paying people.
Right.
Yep. And then I see Looker. You put the emotes there. And then, Dingy said, already got to be with the family. I'll watch V9D at some point.
The VOD. He's not going to. He's never watched a single podcast episode that I've put. I literally have him literally showing his titties on a Spotify video, and he's never commented.
And then, kind of like what Brian was saying, we have best views.
Yes. Good old spam.
Little pagan withholding. That'd be a great law firm, pagan withholding. So I got a question. There. Yeah, it is. Give me time. But I do have a question for you guys, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I've noticed from my bot in my chat. I know, Adam, you have in the past done Extra Life.
Mm-hmm.
Would you guys be interested in maybe doing like I don't know if that would work. I don't know if Extra Life is in Canada. But if you guys would be interested in doing like a team this year instead of, because I do it solo every year. So look, I don't know if you're familiar with Extra Life. It's this yearly event that all the money that you raise goes to Children's Miracle Network.
Okay.
It branches in the hospitals down here in the States. So that's why I don't know how it would work in Canada. And basically you sign up, and it's usually the first Saturday in November. And it's a 24-hour gaming session. It can be board games, video games, whatever. A lot of people stream them doing it. And then you get people to donate the money in your name. And it's 100% of the proceeds go to that hospital that, I chose one here in Wisconsin. And you can set up teams that, if we had a team, not only would you have your solo goal, but then that goal also gets added towards the team goal.
Yeah.
And it looks like Cyclops just posted the link for his.
Oh no, I just put up not my own personal one, but this is for the actual page, just to explain to people what it is.
So
okay,
here, I got an idea / question for you on that. Then you guys are all gamers, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do you guys ever play D&D, or have you played D&D?
It's been ages. I mean, I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3 right now because I'm getting back into that. But no, it would be fun to do a live thing. Now, I will tell you this.
Well, hold on, I got a follow up to that. For what was it called again?
Extra Life.
Extra Life. If you were to do a team thing, right? At one 24-hour campaign of D&D, so people that are watching they see the whole story, because normally they're broken up into 2-hour sessions or whatever like that. Whether pick a game or a TTG, a TTPG, and that would be a way for 4 people to collectively work towards one goal.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then just saying, I'm in the middle of writing my own D&D story right now, and because I don't think I could participate, I've never even heard of that, so I don't think it's in Canada, but I could host it. You guys would all stream. All my proceeds would go to your guys' cause, kind of thing. I'm just kind of interjecting myself, just as an idea.
Yeah.
I think that could be a fun, interactive idea, and it's something that's super marketable. And then as the plug for your social handles and stuff like that, we'd reach out to D&D and be like, hey, guys, we're raising money for this great cause. I want you to match 100% of the proceeds we raise to go to this cause. Right? Like, you know, people do like a challenge or whatever like that to big companies. That D&D has money out the wazoo, Baldur's Gate, all these big organizations. But pick a topic, pick a game, and call them out socially. Because now you're marketing on their platform, so it's a good marketing ploy, and then it's just a good way to have 4 people doing one thing,
right?
Outside pod or whatever like that, right?
Yeah, it could be good with board games too, but obviously we don't live close to each other.
Like there's my participant link, official link to my page, and it's like. The thing of it is like the first year I've been doing this for 11, 12 years, something like that now. The first year that I attempted to do a full 24-hour stream.
Yeah.
I fell asleep at hour 22. So now, because I'm old, what I do is I break it up into 3 separate 8-hour days. It makes it a lot easier, and then you can do it in like, if you want to even break it down more, like into 2 4-hour chunks or whatever like that. And the other thing is you know, the official day is usually the first Saturday in November, but you can do it whenever you can do your own stream whenever you want. Because they take donations from, you know, January 1st to December 31st, and then once that New Year's rolls over, it starts all new again.
Yeah.
I've been trying to find people to do like a team for it this year.
I think that's a great cause, a great idea.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can message them and see if that's even possible. But yeah, Extra Life, it actually, I can send you the video about how this whole thing started. But yeah, basically, in a nutshell, it's basically you play games, you raise money, and then it goes to the different children's. Then people can either donate per hour. I've seen it where people do that, where they donate like per hour that you're playing, or they can make one flat donation, which seems to be the big thing that people do.
Like monthly.
Okay. Yeah.
Monthly,
or I get one flat donation, and then when I go to mention it again, they're like, "Oh yeah, didn't I already contribute to that?" It's like, yes, you know, you could keep going,
cheap bastard. It's for the kids,
right?
Would somebody please think of the children?
But yeah, it helps. It helps people. It helps patients and their families, children and their families, I should say, help be able to afford medical bills. Plus, it also buys them video games that they can put in the children's hospitals. And I've also seen it where they will buy, you know, accessories and consoles and everything, and send it home with kids that, you know, didn't have a Christmas otherwise, or didn't have an Easter otherwise. You know.
You got another comment here from Mike. Hey, you can do the honors there, Cyclops.
Oh, okay. Canadian Make-A-Wish. Use the accent. Is called "Oh shit, you're fucked, eh?" Sorry, couldn't help myself. I have dark humor.
Oh shit, you're fucked, eh?
Yeah.
Where you to, bud?
That's hilarious.
Did you guys ever see that Christmas episode of Family Guy where they're like, hey, "So you called AAA?" It's like, no, not AAA.
Eric, I'm not ignoring you. Hello, thank you for stopping in. One of my viewers.
I've never known a Canadian person, because I've talked to a lot of people from Canada. I've never known them to just go like "A" after everything. I'm like, that is such an exaggeration. But
no,
I've never.
It's not.
They do? Oh, they do?
It depends where you are. Like, Dingy's from the East Coast, so there's a lot of people like newfies. I call them newfies, and that where you to, bud. Like I swear to God, I worked with a guy. Hey there, bud. Where you want to go up there to the ride? We're gonna go up in my truck. We're gonna go out and then we're gonna go to where you to, bud. Like what?
You
the
don't
fuck?
say.
Like, and then like on the West Coast, you got those California surfer dudes, bro. Like we're gonna hit the waves. It's gonna be dope. So it's very like where are you from? And then like Northern Canada, you got a lot more a heavier indigenous population, and it's more like that their slang. So that whole A thing, a lot of Alberta and a lot of Quebec is where you're gonna find that.
Okay.
But yeah, because like we're like long and flat. Right, I know everybody's, oh, Canada's massive. No, that's fucking cold up there. I promise you. I've spent a lot of time up there. So we're all like huddled up along the border for the most part. It's a thing.
I mean, it's the same thing in the United States. You got different accents.
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly.
Depending on where you are and the slang that you use.
Yeah,
in that area, like I'm sure Alabama and them, they've got different accents.
Hey y'all.
Yeah. It's just something you pick up on, and if you're in that area long enough, you kind of take it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I've noticed here, like I was saying earlier, where I'm living now, it's a pretty mixing pot of the accents, and we get the people that have the "do you need a cart" kind of accent, and then we get the people here like here's your cart, But like I got a sister who lives in Alabama, and I go there and within like just a few days, you can really tell everybody down there is kind of talking like this, and right?
Like,
what? Huh?
What? We make fun of the stereotypes, but they're there because they're
real
stereotypes, and they're real.
And if you go to like Southern Louisiana, did you know Gambit from the X-Men, right? They actually do sound like him.
See, no, Mike, I'm gonna have to disagree with that. I don't hear the no, I hear the no.
Yeah, no, see, we do that.
Yeah, no. But the big thing also here is the
yeah.
Never heard that one before.
No, let me get past you here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me squeeze past you.
Get up to like North Dakota, and you'll hear people going like, "Hey, there's the storms that coming."
Yeah.
Why are you talking like that? It's like because that's how they talk.
So my thing is, like, I don't like it when I say go to the States, right? Like I've traveled lots of my life, all the way from the Northwest Territories, all the way down to Mexico and stuff like that. And like you go down, like I was in Texas a few years back for like a training course or whatever. And by the end of it, I came home and everyone was like, "Robert, why are you talking like a Texan, man? Like you got this deep Southern drawl when you talk." It's like man, like I don't want to talk like you guys. I want to talk like me guys.
Yeah, but how long does it take for that to go out?
For me, not long. I pick it up quickly and I lose it quickly. But I think we subconsciously do stuff like that just because we want to be relatable. So you want to like fit in with the people around you, right? And most of the time that works, unless you're like a white guy in a heavily black community or something like that, because that is you're gonna get lynched real quick. But yeah, like I think just subconsciously we naturally do that, especially like more of the stereotypical accents and that where you've heard it in the movies and stuff like that. Now you're around people and everybody's talking like that. You don't want to sound like a Canadian, eh?
Right.
So you drop like what's on top of your house?
Yeah.
What's what?
A roof.
A roof?
Yeah.
A roof? Not a rough?
Nope.
Yeah, as a kid, we always called it the roof. The roof of the house.
Oh,
and now,
okay. I see.
As I got older, I was like, then everyone started calling it roof, and I'm like, you know what? It's the top of the house. The thing on top of it.
But see,
it is interesting though how like if you're in a different area, you do pick up on the dialect. Like I know when I was in London for a week, and then when I came back from that, everybody's like, "What are you doing? You're not British." And I'm like, "No, I'm not." But I was there for a week, and it just and you do it subconsciously too. It's like you don't even notice it.
My wife said she actually went to space camp in Huntsville, Alabama, where they do the Space and Rocket Center. She actually got a sponsorship to go there when she was a kid, and her mom has actually said she came back talking like she was born in Alabama. And she was not. She was like she'd only been in Alabama for like 4 days. So, yeah, and ever since then, every time we go back there, I'm like, okay, you are not going to pick up that accent. Let's say it. I am not going to pick up that accent.
I am not going to pick up that. God damn it.
Well, I know Conan O'Brien said he grew up in Boston where they've got their, the Yankees. They don't use the R's. They're like, the Chicago Cubs, and we don't use Oz, they almost say Oz instead of R. But he said, like, I guess because of all the stuff that he had to do for his career, he moved around and he eventually just lost it. I thought you had to actually go to like a dialects coach and lose it, but
see, being from Canada, there's so many people that have accused me of being from Boston by I have a speech impediment. You guys can't hear it because my accent to you guys, but I have a speech impediment, and then I'm just really hard on my words and stuff like that. I pronunciate things. So people are like, "Are you from Boston?" I'm like, "No, I'm Canadian." You don't sound like a Canadian to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead.
We lost Neo.
He said he's got to just take off for a second. He'll be right
back.
Yeah,
right. He's sponsoring his chair right now.
He's over there pissing. Yeah, no, that's what he's doing.
Sponsoring the chair. I actually want to get a Secret Lab chair, and I'm trying to. I actually have joined their affiliate marketing, but I'm like, yeah, but they still don't give you a chair. They want
you probably have to be like. Chair. You probably have to be like, yeah, you have to be one of their upper echelons of sponsors.
Well, they'll do what do you call that? They'll do like affiliate marketing with you. They'll do that with anybody, but basically all that does is give you the link and stuff that you can put in your streams. And then anybody clicks on it, you get a little bit of it if they buy something. You get a little bit from them just clicking on it, and then you get a little bit if they buy something.
Amazon has the same thing. Like if like me and my wife do this, because I'm an affiliate with the Amazon program or whatever like that. So if we're gonna buy something, I literally go into my Amazon, I click it, make a link, send it to her, so I get like 0.5% royalty on the sale of that item.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and it's so far it added up. Like I think I got collected like $3. So I'm like, no, not a lot. I haven't cashed out yet. I haven't gone to the bank.
Lunches on me.
Yeah.
Or
small fries for everybody.
Or maybe one Coke, and it has to be, a 12 ounce.
Or sharing it.
and all 5 of us are sharing it.
I just hope we get first sip.
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, when I lived in Minnesota, I went to a movie with 3 brothers, and they've all bought one pop and had one straw, and they were like, "Hey, do you want a drink?" And I'm like, "Okay, it's awesome you think of me as your brother, but no, I don't."
Better buy me my own.
I did actually. I want to say it was like the 3rd Jurassic Park movie that we went to go see. Jurassic Park 3, and we were up there. We were up at like 4 rows from the back, or I'm sorry, 4 rows from the front, and we all shared the candy. I had no problem with that. It got to the drink, and they were like, "Here, you want some?" I'm like no, no.
I'm good.
Like at least the candy went into my hand before I did this. It didn't touch everyone's lips before it got to me.
So.
That's
Cyclops,
not the way to come into back into this.
Context.
You wash your hands.
I swear.
Right.
You're running this all this through StreamYard, correct?
Yes.
Do you still use OBS with StreamYard, or is this separate?
This is separate.
Do you use OBS?
Yeah, I use OBS when you see me streaming just on my own. I'm using OBS because then I'm also throwing it to TikTok, which I don't think has a link for putting it on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. I use OBS for that, and then I use just regular StreamYard for this.
I really like you guys' layout for that. I've commented to Dingy a few times, like how our names are all underneath it and stuff like that, and just the structure and how he leaves, goes away. Like in OBS, for me to do what you just did there, like I'm sitting there programming everything, swapping scenes, and
right.
It's a thing.
It is.
And then, do you guys all broadcast this from StreamYard out?
Now we are, yes. Now that we're all part of this, we've got like me and Koimia have Beam, so we have it going to Beam and then splitting out.
Yeah,
and then
that's pretty cool.
Cyclops has got all his set up in here too.
So.
Yeah, I really like the way you guys structure your podcast. It's really it's super fun, but then the layout and the visuals of it. Really nice.
It's all
we try.
I gotta give credit where credit's due. This was to get this structured the way it was actually Charlie who had the show before these guys came on. He was the one that kind of came up with the structure of it, and then after he left, I kind of went in and just readjusted a few things. But yeah,
awesome.
So just give credit where credit's due.
Right.
You're my boy, Charlie.
Yeah. Okay, and then Mike did come back here. He said, we here in Wisconsin end our questions with or no. He said, bang, not bad. Truly the yupper word.
Youper.
Or youper word.
Youper.
Yeah, there it goes. Youper.
I've never heard that word in my life. Youper.
You've never heard youper?
You know what's really
I've
weird
heard that
though?
one too.
In Wisconsin, there's part of Michigan, which is right next to Wisconsin.
The
Part
Upper
of
Peninsula.
Michigan is attached, and then there's a whole like Great Lake that separates the two states.
Our
And
Great
then,
Lake.
Yeah, the and then you have Michigan right next to it, and I'm like, why doesn't Wisconsin just take that? Like, why isn't that just part of it?
Don't give them any ideas.
Yeah, the Upper Peninsula. I was like,
The Upper Peninsula.
When Trump
Youpers.
when Trump renamed the Gulf of Mexico into the Gulf of America, I was joking around with a lot of my friends and family, like, "Yep, it's gonna be the Great Lakes of the U.S. and Lake Superior, America." And nobody found it funny. I thought it was hilarious, but it was like,
Right.
Robert, really now? I'm like, too soon? Too soon?
Yeah. Well, he says that he renamed it, but most places still call it the Gulf of Mexico.
Not Google Maps.
I think
Is it in
If
brackets?
you're in America, Google Maps and Apple Maps have changed it to Gulf of America. Outside of the U.S., it's still the Gulf of Mexico.
yeah, that's not gonna last. When he gets out of office, that's all going back to.
It's just like, I mean, I still call it Sears Tower. The Sears Tower is always going to be the Sears Tower
Sears
in
Tower,
Chicago.
right.
It's not whatever the hell they call it now. I don't even know what it's
Will
called
it
now.
Willis? I think it is
Something like that. No, it's the Sears Tower. Just like know where the White
Wrigley
Sox play.
Field or any of those.
White Sox play Comiskey Park. It's always going to be Comiskey. It's not Allstate Arena or whatever they're calling it this week. And it's what cracks me up is everybody's like, oh, they sold out. Comiskey sold out. They're being sponsored. I'm like, what do you fucking think Wrigley Field is? Wrigley Field is like the original sponsored field. I mean, Wrigley's gum, I mean, it's like, do you people not pay attention at all?
Sears, you just don't think about
Sears.
it in that way.
You don't, but it's still the Sears Tower, and it's always going to be the Sears Tower. Again, this is just old man yelling at a cloud, but I'm too old for that shit. You want to call it something else? Fine. That's fine. I'm still calling it this because when I say the Sears Tower, everybody fucking knows what I'm talking about.
You know what you're talking about, right?
We have like Winnipeg used to be small, like where I'm from. Winnipeg used to be small, and then so we had like a original perimeter around the city. Now we have a second perimeter that we call the perimeter highway, and that original perimeter we called it Bishop. Well, it has like 7 names. Like we're dumb. We have one street with like 8 names, depending where on that street you are. But we call it Keniston Boulevard. We have named it, and I don't know if you guys will see this or not. That's what it's called now.
Well, we don't see it.
Oh, okay. I
have a chat.
Yeah.
You got it?
How the hell do you even say that?
Yeah, that's what I was getting with. So we named one of the most popular streets in our whole province or our whole city a word, and it's an Aboriginal word, right? So that's why they named it like that. But like, how the fuck do you say that properly? And the amount of people are like, Aboriginal, manana.
You're right. Like,
or do you say it like this, like the old Muppets? Manamana,
no shit, Jesus.
Right, and I know how to say it. It's Abinogi Mekana or something like that. But just like where before it's like you're pick up on Smith. Yeah, thank you. I'll pick you up at 7 on whatever street, right? Like
Right.
just a generic term, right? Pick you up on Smith Street at 7 o'clock. Now it's like people like, I'll pick you up on at 7 p.m.
Wait, you dropped out there. Did I catch a niner in there? Were you calling from a walkie-talkie?
Yeah. But yeah, like people like renaming stuff like that. Like just think, you like Wrigley's feels not bad, Sears not bad, and you guys got at least you can pronounce the shit that you guys are changing your names to. I'm stuck looking like an idiot every time I'm like on my way home. The wife calls, "Where are you?" I'm not saying.
Right? Like, you know where I'm at.
The road that shall not be named.
Exactly.
I love Neo-Deth just made a reference to one of the greatest movies ever.
What'd you do?
Fat man in a little coat.
It's like, remember, Koimiya, when we were talking about where we would use that kind of clip? This is where we would use that kind of clip.
You're welcome.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm trying to figure out why Beam doesn't show my Beam chat doesn't show Facebook.
Oh, you're still on that?
Yeah, I'm still on that. I'm still on that. Like it.
That's whatever you were talking about for you.
Exactly. I don't get it. I don't get it. It shows everything but my Facebook chat. So it's like I have somebody watching my Facebook stream. I just don't, and he's been chatting with me this whole fucking time, and I feel like an asshole because I haven't been responding.
Yeah, why aren't you taking care of your fans? Jeez,
you know
you're
what?
so ahead of yourself now.
I'm an elite asshole now. I've gone full douchebag.
You know what, Koimiya? I have to do it.
Move this man!
I'll take it because I do not know why. It's like I don't.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Sorry.
I mean, I feel bad. I feel bad for my friend who's sitting here watching because I'm missing his chat. I'm gonna have to contact. Yeah, well. I mean, you guys don't see the Beam chat because Beam. So since Beam is not being like set in the stream,
it's broadcast through Beam and then out from there, so it only goes back to there, not all the way up the turnstile.
Right, and you know, like for Cyclops, all his feeds, he's using the direct link, whereas we're using the. It's not the official.
We gotta figure out how to get that those into.
I don't think it'll happen unless you put in.
All of them,
the separate Twitch direct, yeah. But I'm gonna have to contact Beam support and see why, because I know it's feeding to my Facebook. Like I can see that I'm live on my Facebook page, but the chat is not coming back. I don't know. Anyway,
so Beam
Eric, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just not seeing your chats right away because it's like this.
So Beam and Facebook are just.
See, now what we have here is a failure to communicate.
Pretty much.
I've been waiting to use that clip.
He's just
got
them already.
Are you proud that you finally got to use it?
Yes, I'm very, very proud.
I'm happy for you. I really am. I'm so happy. I can finally do the.
Take a bow. Take a bow.
See, when the show starts falling apart, that's when we just go through all of our clips.
Right.
So, no, see, this is why people watch the show because it's raw, it's real, and they're going to have the same problem too if they eventually do this kind of thing. So,
aren't you so glad you joined us, Looker?
Love it. I'm so glad to be here. I've had nothing but fun, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
It's always fun when I see you come into my streams too. Whenever I see you come in there, I'm just like, awesome! It's about to get. I mean,
I don't know if
you've noticed. I sit there and I'm like, yes.
I think anytime you can have this morning on my stream, I had someone in there. We were communicating, talking back and forth. It was just a raw thing about everything that streaming is. and it just makes it so much better when you can communicate with the fans. So I don't know, like when you get up to that level and the chat's just speeding along so fast, like, yeah, what are you getting at it? You're not being able to communicate like it's good. Sometimes, yeah, you can grab like one thing, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I
like
guess
when I
that's
watch-
first world problems. Like when we hit that problem, we will.
When I watch the Game Awards, I try to make it that whole chat disappears because it's like I'm almost watching the chat more than I'm watching Jeff or anybody else. So
right.
It's one of those things. Like if you could picture every comment like $1, right? Those people are sitting there wiping their tears away with all their money and stuff like that. We're like, we find $1. We're like, yeah, I'm gonna cherish you forever.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
See, I've been paid through Twitch a couple of times, not enough to really quit streaming, but every time I get that payout, I'm just like, you know what? This is why I keep going. And actually, this isn't why I keep going because
You guys get paid?
It's like it's not why I keep going. I do it because I love the environment, I love the streaming, I love the community. But it's like this is, if I could do this for a living,
either that or even like take that money and now roll it into it, get better cameras, get better lights, whatever the case may be.
Everything I have is literally like aside from a $150 PC and a $100 monitor, everything else I have I've literally pulled out of my Twitch account. Right.
Nice.
And so I agree with you. And I think people should think like that. Like, oh, I'm going to drop $5,000 on an awesome streaming setup. Like, what? If I had that kind of money, I wouldn't.
I mean, it doesn't
like...
get you what you wanted. Like, you still got to put the people in the seats.
Yeah.
I mean, I can contest to that. I will admit I have put a lot of money into what I have right now within this month that I've been doing it. But it's so that I have the better quality that maybe they will come.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. If they show up, they show up.
That's what TikTok got big off of. It became just somebody with a camera or a phone that had a camera, and that's why. Honestly, it's like if you look at Instagram, everyone was trying to put that together and make it perfect. And TikTok is where everybody was just like, "Hey, this is me."
Yeah,
right.
And that's,
I think TikTok's more raw on that too.
Yeah.
Like you're telling your story, which I think makes it more relatable to people.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully they don't get banned after June 9th. But if they do, then
I mean, they're
we're
just
all going
gonna
over to Substack.
I mean, they're just gonna kick it down another whatever the fuck. He's not actually gonna ban it. At this point, he doesn't listen to laws anyways. So,
right. So, but yeah, so I know we've been going for about 2 hours. I know I've been trying to jump in there for that, but it's like, you know what? These conversations just used to be too awesome and don't want to stop.
It was good conversations. It went where it went, and
I mean, even Mike's dipping out here.
Okay.
So when I let viewers like, all right, fuckers, I'm out. It's time to wrap up.
So, all right. Well, yeah. Was there anything else you guys wanted to close on? I know, Looker, we'd love to have you back, and hopefully Dingy can join us. Yeah, we're willing to come back after, I know we kind of exploded this whole thing, but
I absolutely love it. The raw and organicness of the conversation has just been great. Like you guys are people I could be buds with. I think in real life, like, well, this is real life, but you know what I mean.
Have a beer.
Exactly, right. Yeah. I want to say thanks for having me, man. It's been a blast. You guys are all awesome. It's a little bit weird being on this side. Normally, I'm the guy in your comments, like, "Ooh, what about this?" Right? So, a little nice not having that like 4-minute delay while you guys wrap up your talking points and then read my comments. So it's been nice. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something we got to get more. Trying to get the comments in there while we're going off on whatever tangent we're going off on.
That's the thing is, like, our tangent tends to be attached to another sentence that just spins this way, and it's like, well, I'm trying. Mike said something like from 4 conversations ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you guys have anything else before we wrap it up?
No. So thank you again for joining us. It was an absolute
my pleasure.
We'll love to have Dingy on. Get you on here again. It was a great conversation.
Yep, and hopefully I can get this fixed so we don't have the screen.
One step at a time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's actually because of neo-deth that I even have this. Otherwise, it would just be my wife's workstation in the back, like it was for a long time.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, it works out way better because you can see you, except for that couple times where it likes to go through your eye. Like it picks that. Yeah, it's like it knows to troll us.
Oh, troll us!
Yeah, I
I
just laugh at y'all because I don't have a green screen. I'm just using the background image, and it seems to work fine.
See, he's laughing because he's actually in space. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not even on Earth. So, all right. Yeah. Well, thank you all for coming and hanging out. Thank all the viewers for watching, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Have fun.
Laters.
Good night, everybody.